Follow Altavista Colonels basketball all season long on 105.5 KD Country and kdcountry.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Fellers Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Fellers Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
Live from VCU, the Siegel Center in Richmond, Virginia. It's time once again for Colonels basketball. The Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country. It's the Subway pregame show. I am Kyle Haney. He's Bob Alvis. And Bob, it's not your usual Subway pregame show. It's a state championship Subway pregame show. The Colonels are at it again. They're home away from home here in VCU. They're going to try and win their second state title in as many years, Bob Alvis. It's a big one, the one we waited for.
And so is Radford. Radford also won the state championship last year. The Bobcats were in 2A, Altavista in 1A. Both have had good runs here, and this has been the dream matchup for a lot of people, and a lot of people have been circling this one on their calendar. Probably out of all the divisions, a lot of people really wanted this matchup.
Absolutely. This is one for folks that know basketball in not just Central Virginia, but the entire state. Everybody's been talking about this one, a rare matchup between two defending state champs. You heard the Colonels win their state championship last year on 105.5 on this very court in Richmond. Well, like Bob said, Radford did the exact same thing last year, just in a higher classification. They've dropped down a class to 1A along with the Altavista Colonels. So it sets up, like Bob said, really a dream matchup. Always a dream at Subway, Bob. March, still plenty of great things going on over there. The meatball marinara. I don't know what else. How about the flatbread pizzas? I still can't get enough of those.
They are excellent. I've tried the flat cheeses, and they are great. The only wrong choice, not opening the door on Main Street or inside of Walmart on Clarion Road. They'll actually open the door for you. They're automatic.
That's right.
And then you go inside and you just fill up on, and you can do it healthy. I mean, when I take my daughters, we don't go chips, we go apples and milk rather than that chips and soft drink. If you want to go chips and soft drink, I encourage that. But they also, many choices at Subway right there on Clarion Road in Walmart and on Main Street in Altavista.
Something for everybody. Fun one here from the Siegel Center in Richmond. It's a state championship basketball game. Colonels taking on Radford. We're going to step aside and hear from the head coaches. A little bit of an extended interview with Mike Carlero since it is the last one on the Subway pregame show for this year anyway. So we'll do that right after this timeout. Radford, Altavista, getting ready to lock horns for a state championship tip-off about 20 minutes away. All the action is live on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company. What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant, so we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today, El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Final Subway pregame show of the season here returns, talking again with the head coach Mike Carlero. Coach C coming off the 54-41 win over Galax in the state semifinal. It was another good game where you guys really faced a very good opponent, and they were game and ready. Obviously, you sort of pulled away in the second half like you've been doing a lot all year, and I thought
you guys played a really, really good team game, especially considering how they shut down the Johnson twins in the first half there.
Yeah, they did a real nice job. They actually went to a 2-3 zone that they've not played all year. They've been a man-to-man team and a good man-to-man team, but that's out of respect for Demetrius and Darius. They did a nice job, and, you know, before the game, we talked about and for the week preparation that this may be we gotta take what they give, and you know, you can't force it in there. I mean, we probably had them a few times we didn't get it to them, but you know, we didn't want to turn it over. But we got great perimeter play. Richard knocked down a couple of big shots. Michi did. Walker's 3 from a corner when it was tied up. That's, you know, spun around a few times was huge. You know, and Juan's Juan, you know, taking over when he needs to take over. So, you know, at this point of the year, everybody's got to be able to play on the floor. It can't just be one area of the team. But very proud of the effort. Galax played a tremendous game. Conley got hot for a little bit in the second quarter. Most part, Richard Hubbard really locked down on him and stepped up to the challenge, and it's called survive and advance, and that's what we did.
Yeah, don't always have to have your A game, just have to have more points than the other team. The other team tonight is the Radford Bobcats, coming in at 26-2, I think, and I know this is a matchup that a lot of people have been talking about. It's interesting in a lot of respects, but you guys are the defending 1A state champ. They're the defending 2A state champ. They've dropped down a classification, so it's two of the best around and two teams that have been the best in a while, and I know it's something you're looking forward to taking that challenge and taking on a very good team.
Yeah, they're outstanding in every aspect of the game. Offensively, they're a lot like they're a high school Duke. They love to shoot the three, and they've got skilled players that can shoot the three. Finley, Phillips, Jones, all three are very capable of getting hot from three and shooting the team right out of the gym. And, you know, Cook is also an outstanding shooter. They're good in their half-court offense. You know, they're very patient when they need to, and they can run. They can really get up-tempo and going. And they've been like us. They live off their man-to-man defense, good pressure and making people work. I think probably the big key for this game really is going to be rebounding. You know, which team wins on the glass is going to have a great opportunity to win a state title. And it's not the only thing, but to us right now it's the most important stat.
Yeah, and they really did well on the glass in their semifinal game against Surrey, an opponent you know, in a game I know that you saw. And I know that that was good for you. Maybe not good for you to see it, but I know, you know, that's a thing that you pointed at particularly, is how they out-rebounded Surrey. Easy for me to say, easy for them to do. How they really controlled the glass against Surrey. And I know you told you guys that a lot all week, that, hey, we've got to get on the glass, because that's basically how they beat Surrey last week.
Yeah, they did. And Surrey actually went out from their man and went to a zone, and it did bother Radford. They were 3 for 15 from three, which was, you know, I would take that if somebody said Radford's going to shoot 3 for 15 against us. But they got about 7 or 8 offensive rebounds, and they all led directly to stickbacks or tip-ins. So they're super aggressive going and getting the ball on the glass, and you really got to check them off. You know, and at the other end, they're good. You know, they're good. They put a body on you, and they keep you from getting a rebound. That's why they're playing, you know, in their second straight final.
Yeah, and you talked about Galax going to the 2-3 zone you haven't seen. It's something you and I talked about last week. You got a week to prepare with no games, and I'll give it 2 questions, I guess. Maybe how many new things do you add to what you guys do at this point? You know, whether it's just a new play, an inbounds play, offensive play, whatever. And how many new things do you think Radford will add that you haven't seen?
Well, with those guys, I don't know. But with us, you know, we've added a couple of things. But you can't go back and start changing what you do or changing personality. The biggest thing for us this week has been great effort. We got on the big floor at LU and the big floor at Lynchburg College, which we needed. And we really needed to condition early in the week especially, and try to refine some things, and then talk about their tendencies. You know, this is a time of the year that somebody might throw something in here or there, but you talk about tendencies and go from there. And I'm sure they probably have a couple of wrinkles for us that we'll see at game time. And, you know, we hope that we have 1 or 2 for them, too, that we've worked on a little bit.
Last few questions, we'll talk about your team this year again, since it is the final Subway pregame show of the year. But talk about how this team has improved from last year's team. I know you don't compare teams from year to year, really, and you lose those 3 seniors from last year. You add some pieces this year, but those guys that were part of the team last year, talk about the improvements they've made this year.
Well, first of all, it's a tremendous amount of pressure. You come back and you're trying to defend, and, you know, you hear a lot that you're going to be back there, you're going to, you know, no problems, and you're taking everybody's best shot. So, you know, we had to shoulder a little bit of different approach after winning it last year. And that's been the challenge in itself, because we've certainly seen some teams really play their best basketball against us. But I think they've stepped up. You know, we got the late start. We've had a couple of injuries. We had about a 10-game stretch where we couldn't get Michi and Juan both together on the floor, you know, with the other players, but we managed to survive. You know, we've come back in quite a few games in the second half and played really well, but we can't afford to do that against Radford now. That's definitely a key there. But these guys have matured, you know, a year older, shouldered the responsibility of, or the burden, you may want to call it. It's a burden that everybody would like to have, is you're defending champions and you should be going back and playing or winning. But they've improved in a lot of ways, and you know, they're not sophomores anymore, they're juniors. And they're seasoned juniors, and can't say enough about you know, senior Richard Hubbard and how he's played and battled, and he's done everything he can to help us win games.
You know, you talked about when the 04 team had their reunion, how A.B. Hubbard was kind of the mouthpiece back then, and I'm sure Kenny to an extent too. Who are the guys like that on this year's team? Who's the mouthpiece in the locker room this year?
I'm not sure you'll find an A.B. anywhere. He's certainly a young man that outspoken, and he was a lot of fun to be around when he came back last month. And we have a couple guys that speak out a little bit. Michi maybe a little. Juan's pretty quiet. The twins are quiet. Richard maybe a little bit. But there's no way you can look at this team and say, who's the AB? There's not an AB in there.
Nice. All right. Final thought before the shout-outs. I know as a coach like yourself, you've been around for a little while now, 5th state championship appearance. This is what it's all about for you, just personally, right? I mean, this is kind of the high that as a coach you're always chasing, just being able to say, hey, we're going to tee it up in the last game of the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're playing the last game of the year, you've obviously accomplished a lot. And we'll make sure the kids know that before the game starts, because the sad thing about this is whoever comes out losing feels like a failure for the year, and it is, in a lot of ways, it is failure. You know, you don't win the big game, and the expectations are that high for us, and they're that high for Radford. But you know, to get to the final game and play in front of the state, there's nothing any better. There will be a lot of butterflies for everybody, both sides. But once we get out there and start mixing it up and playing, you know, it's a basketball game, and the team that executes the team and really plays well together is going to win the game. But it's a great accomplishment. Proud of this group. They've worked hard to get here in a different way than last year's team got to it. So hopefully we got 4 good quarters left in us.
Yeah, it's sort of a shame that you know, a whole body's worth of work, a whole season's got to get judged on one game. But like you said, you take the opportunity to be judged on the big stage like this. Final time for the shout-outs on the season.
All right, we'll do a blanket shout-out because there's not any individual names, because there's a lot of people that are going to make it and a lot of people that can't make it.
Right.
But a big thank you from the Colonel's basketball team, from the bottom of our heart, for all the support. I know there's some people that will be watching and listening, and we thank you for support, and the group that's in the corner down at the end of the bench, they're so great, and all the other Colonel people that can't make it to the game, they're watching or listening. Thank you so much. It's been a great year. We hope we can finish it with one more win, and we certainly look forward to having everybody back next year, and we got quite a few players back. So get them back in the gym. It's been a lot of excitement. The atmosphere's been great in the gym. The regionals were super terrific, and the support, can't say enough about the support. So we very much appreciate it.
Great time here on the Subway pregame show. Another big game. Colonel fans getting used to these big games. Tip-off about 15 minutes away on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
We're here because we care.
English is
so much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English
is your complete home center.
Everything for every job you do. Always here for you.
With the quality you really need. English is
so much more.
English is
more than a hardware store.
English
is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista, open Saturday 8 to 4.
This month's specials from your Apple Market convenience stores. Coke and Pepsi 6-pack cans at $1.99. Free bacon biscuit with the purchase of 2 Mountain Dew Kickstarts. Double-decker moon pie for $1 with the purchase of any size coffee. Enjoy 2 chicken tender biscuits for $2.49 at the Apple Market locations. Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street, Altavista. You know what they say. Stop by the Apple today.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Always fun to get a high-profile coach on the pregame show. Rick Cormany joins me. He's the head coach of the Radford Bobcats. Radford and Altavista for all the marbles from Richmond. And, Coach, you guys matched up a long time ago, about 10, 11 years ago in the state semifinal. I know you won a different result than that night, but talk about, Altavista just in terms of you guys have a great program in Southwest Virginia. They have a great program in Central Virginia. I take it there's probably a lot of mutual respect.
Exactly. We, Coach Carlero and I, we've been there and done that, it seems like, and both teams, I think, play extremely hard, and, I've watched them play, and I love the way they defend and how hard they play and how together they are. So, yeah, a lot of mutual respect. I think you got two very, very good teams going at each other on Saturday.
When you watch them, how much of it is kind of like watching yourself in terms of all the similarities?
Well, I was watching them defend just actually this morning. I was watching them defend, and gosh, they just get after you. Their hands are quick. They get their hands on a lot of balls. They get a lot of deflections. They're in the passing lane. It's just wow. We've got to be willing to execute.
For people who may not be extremely familiar with Radford Bobcat basketball, kind of give me a summation of the year of how things have gone for you guys.
Well, you know what, it's been one of those years, and I'm sure Altavista's probably feeling the same thing. When you're, if you're the defending state champion, it's been real hard for us to kind of keep pressure off our kids. I mean, I've felt more pressure probably this year than ever just to try to get back to this game because that's what everybody's expecting. But the kids really don't need that. It's been something we've tried to work hard and try to talk to our guys about enjoying the journey instead of just waiting for a state championship game or trying to get to a state championship game. But we've had a good season. It's we've had a couple losses that we thought would have been good wins. Carroll County team, a very good team, beat us in the Christmas tournament on a last second shot to win by 3. They hit a 3 on the buzzer. And then we played a William Fleming team that was real athletic, and Roy Stanley shootout down at Salem Civic Center, and we lost to them by 3. But it's been a good season. I think those two wins would have been really nice to have because they were games that not everybody expected us to win, but but that's how the season has gone. I mean, it's been fun, but we've got 5 seniors that are getting ready to graduate that have state championship rings, and I don't know how many times 2 state championships have met, teams have met, and both are extremely hungry, been there and done that, so this is going to be a knockdown drag-out.
When we look at the game against Surrey last Saturday, talk about what went right, and you talked about playing at the Civic Center for the Roy Stanley Memorial Shootout. How much did that help in terms of you guys at least knew the floor a little bit better than Surrey did?
Well, I think any time you play in an open arena and you haven't been used to playing in an open arena, it makes a difference with the shooting. And I think just to get in the feel of that, Surrey was, we had only seen Surrey on tape, and I knew they were fast, but I didn't know they were that fast. We had a tough time keeping them in front of us. So we played probably more zone than we've played all year. And a lot of it is just because of that fact. We just break you down off the dribble so much that you feel like he's constantly helping. So I felt very fortunate to get through that game.
Talk about some of the guys. If we're calling their names on radio on Saturday, that's a good thing for the Bobcats.
Some of the guys that are a good thing, Marcus Finley makes us go. Our point guard, sophomore, he's just he's steady. doesn't get rattled. Of course, Nate Jones, everybody's talking about him, and he's 6'4", and he just gets more and more athletic each year. He's still growing. He wears 16.5 shoes. Dad's RU basketball coach. Just got lucky on that one, but. And then, Isaiah Phillips is our senior. He was first team All-State last year. Real athletic kid, can jump out of the gym. Those three have to play extremely well, and our center has to play well, Zach Bradley.
Now for the question that everybody normally answers with the Twins first, what worries you about Altavista?
That's one big factor for sure, because we really don't play to a 4 and a 5. We don't play two bigs. We play, we probably Jones and Phillips both would be considered guards. I've even played Jones last year. I played him backup point guard. So that creates a matchup issue. And I watch Galax play him and play you guys and play Altavista with more of a 2-3 kind of a matchup thing. But I've never done anything like that, so we don't, I think we can match up, but I think we got our hands full in the post and other places too.
Well, it definitely should be a fun one. We have a week off in between state semis and state finals. I can't think of that being done for, maybe since I was in school back in the late 90s. It's been a long time just because of the way the VHSL clumps it up. But how much of it isn't that an advantage, and how much of it is a disadvantage? Because I know you, and just from word of mouth, and I know Coach Cardellaro pretty well, and I know you guys probably, it's hard probably not to overthink yourselves at this point. Advantages and disadvantages of the time off.
You're exactly right. I hate it. I mean, I couldn't coach football if I had to wait week to week to play. I mean, this is driving me crazy. And to be honest with you, probably the kids too. They don't want to practice a whole another week before playing. And it's kind of, do you give them a day off, that type of thing. And you're right. Overthinking what you're trying to do. Should you just do what works for you? That's worked all year. Should you make this adjustment, that adjustment? And then the next thing you know, you're sending messages to the kids that what you believe in, what you've worked in, what you work on daily may not work in this game. So, a lot of question marks there.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it. I mean, you don't want to reinvent the wheel and overdose your guys, and I don't know. Good luck, I guess, is all I can say on that, because I wouldn't want to do it either. So, Coach, in final question, definitely appreciate your time. Look forward to catching up with you down the road. Give me 2 or 3 keys that if Radford can have them done, they're hoisting their second state title in as many years.
We're going to rebound for sure. We have got to box out and rebound. We've got to, we have got to be able to help on the bigs and the posts. We've got to limit some dribble drive penetration, especially with Thornhill there, and we've got to. And then offensively, we've got to make some shots. The times we did not win it, that I was fortunate enough to get there with the Nichols brothers. The times we didn't win it, we didn't make shots. It's a pretty simple philosophy. You got to make some shots. You can't go in these games and shoot 20% from the floor. And usually the games that we've lost in the state Final Four or in the state Final Two, it's come down to not being able to make shots.
Should be a fun one from the Siegel Center, Coach. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you down the road.
Hey, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Rick Cormany on the Subway pregame show. More after this from the Siegel Center on 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for more than 30 years. For free consultations for personal injury cases, call 369-6621. 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels basketball team on their successful season. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
This is Paul Shelton, owner of Altavista Appliance and Furniture, and I want to introduce my grandson, Mitch Haley, who is my new store manager, to tell you about great things we have going for you, our valued customers.
Check out our low prices. All living room suites are on sale. Plus, we have a large selection of recliners, accent rugs, end tables, and lamps. Our appliance department features name brands like Frigidaire, Speed Queen, Maytag, Whirlpool, and Amana. Come check us out today, where you'll find the best deals with great service at Altavista Appliance and Furniture on 7th Street, right in front of the First National Bank.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com.
Now, back to the action on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista Colonels basketball back on the radio, taking on the Radford Bobcats. We are courtside here at the Siegel Center at the campus of VCU in Richmond. I'm Kyle Haney with Bob Alves. Bob, you heard from both the coaches there, and interesting how many of the same things that they said. You know, they're both seem like they're getting a few more gray hairs leading up to this matchup, and you heard both Coach Cardellaro and Coach Cormany. They both can go by Coach C, I suppose, and they both seem to, have thought about a lot of things in this week leading up to the basketball game. It's, again, a strange situation. You're used to playing 2 or 3 games a week throughout the year, and then you go a week in between games, 2 weeks and 2 games, basically, between this one and the state semifinal.
Yeah, and you interviewed Coach Cardellaro, but I kind of felt like I was, because a lot of the answers Coach Cormany gives are a lot of the answers Coach Cardellaro normally gives. This is a dream match. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. A lot of people wanted this from day one. Now they got it. So, and I think, we stayed over last Saturday and we watched Radford ourselves to, broadcaster scout too, folks. It might not show today, but we did. And, I was going after the game, who matches up with Nate Jones?
Right.
Or, wow, Finley's a real good guard. Altavista might have a little trouble with him. But after watching last week's game, Kyle, truth be told, normally coming in, I've got an idea, but this is 50-50 in my eyes.
Yeah, the 2 guys you mentioned there for Radford, Nate Jones and Marcus Finley, I think probably public enemies 1A and 1B for Altavista here today. And you heard Coach Cardellaro mention that in his interview. We would not be here if it wasn't for the generous support of our sponsors, Bob Alves. And, we really, again, could not do it without them, and we thank them so very much. People like Sonny Merriman, We Are Virginia's Bus Company. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. David W. Shreve, attorney at law. If you're facing a legal matter, don't do it alone. Altavista Appliance and Furniture, best prices, great service. Select Air. Call Donnie 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's never an overtime charge. The Apple Markets. Check out the weekly specials at all 3 Altavista area locations. Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English's, your complete home center. So much more than a hardware store. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, the happiest place in town. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. And Fellers Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. They also sponsor the YouTube rebroadcast. I have a feeling no matter what happens in this one, some folks are going to go back and listen to this one again on YouTube. And Bob, you talked about some shout-outs earlier. Coach Cardellaro just did a blanket shout-out to everybody, all the Colonel fans. And we know we have a lot of just general basketball fans in the Central Virginia area that are pulling for the Altavista Colonels here today. They want to see a local team win. And I'll get into a few more shout-outs a little bit later on. But one of our great friends and one of the best officials around, Mike Thorne, I think, is listening out there, and I want to give him a big hello. And it's interesting. Mike Thorne not up here at the state tournament this year. He said, they said I'd done 4 or 5 years in a row. I needed to give it a year off and give somebody else a chance. But absolutely, Mr. Thorne.
Said you need more time on the golf course to get out there before any weather comes.
Exactly.
Let me give a shout-out to the starting lineup. For Altavista, you're going to see the normal 5. Michi Malbeck, he's a 5'9" junior guard. Juan Thornhill, a 6'2" junior guard. 6'3" junior forward Demetrius Johnson. 6'4" junior center Darius Johnson, and a 5'11" senior guard Richard Hubbard. For Radford, they're going to go with number 12, Marcus Finley. He is a dynamic guard, 5'11" sophomore. R.J. Jordan, he's a 5'11" senior guard, number 14. Number 24, Isaiah Phillips, 6'1" senior forward. He's looking to go back-to-back. Nate Jones, he is long and he is lanky and he is tough going to the basket. He's a 6'4", listed as a junior guard, and Zach Bradley, the man in the middle, 6'4", senior center when I noticed Radford last week, and you heard Coach Cormany talk about it in the pregame, they don't play in the post a lot. They're kind of like Altavista, to where, Bradley will play in the post, but everybody else is zooming around.
Yeah, they're a perimeter-oriented team, much like the Altavista Colonels, and they've got some guys with some size. You mentioned Nate Jones. He's a 6'4" guard, so don't think for a second that he can't get down there on that low block and bang around a little bit. He's a lot like Juan Thornhill in that respect, a very, very good rebounding guard. More shout-outs to come as the game goes on, but players are out there shaking hands right now. Again, we are courtside at the Siegel Center in Richmond. Pep band is here, Bob, providing that nice atmosphere for the Altavista Colonels. Cheerleaders are here. Good student section here for the Altavista fans, and a lot of people made the drive up. I know a lot of folks didn't make the drive up. Oscar Briggs just went further away, Agent Zero, down there in sunny Orlando, Florida, wherever he's at. Tip goes up, jump ball goes out of bounds off the scorer's table. They're going to say it's to the Altavista Colonels. Hubbard went up there and battled for it, and then Michi Malbeck was close there as well. But it's off of Radford. Altavista will start the basketball. 7:55 remaining in the Apple Market first quarter. Thornhill shake and bake, then a kick out to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck thought about driving baseline, but now he'll bring it back out to the left point, studying that defense. Looks like a man-to-man defense for Radford to open up.
Yeah, Malbeck guarded by Finley.
Yep, and Jones is guarding Demetrius Johnson, giving him some room. Thornhill, spin move, going to the basket, stops outside the paint. He'll kick it back out to Michi Malbeck. Half court. Radford likes that. They feel like they prevented Thornhill from a basket there.
Good contingency from Southwest Virginia up here, too, today.
Yep. Malbeck driving, jump stop in the lane. He is held in the lane, and that's going to be the first foul of the ball game for anybody.
Nate Jones.
His first, obviously. 7:24 to play in the Apple Market first quarter. 0-0 is the score between the Altavista Colonels and the Radford Bobcats. Thank you for tuning in to 105.5 or perhaps kdcountry.com like Oscar Briggs is. Thornhill to do the honors on the inbound.
Or the TuneIn app.
That's right. Going to have to throw it long, and it's intercepted. R.J. Jordan got the steal for the Radford Bobcats. He's looking for help in the backcourt. Now he'll pitch it ahead to Nate Jones right in front of us here courtside, and they do get it into the front court. Radford basketball, 7:12 to play in the Apple Market first quarter, still no score.
Just like we were talking on the way up, Johnson's on Nate Jones. Jones got by him and left it for Phillips. Richard Hubbard with the big block. And then, like we talked about, too, Malbeck is on Phillips. Or on Finley, pardon me. So, Kyle, I feel like we pat ourselves on the back today because we got the matchup.
Good scouting report, us. And we'll see if they stick to that or not. And I'm sure fouls will play a role in that as well. Radford basketball after the block, out of bounds by Richard Hubbard. Phillips sends it over to Nate Jones. He'll go low post to Bradley. Bradley had to go out to catch it a little bit. Return pass to Jones, left wing. Jones driving, another kick out. This is Jordan. Jordan back to Jones on the inside, and Jones gets the first basket of the night. Radford lead 2-0. On the early bucket there for the Bobcats.
Heads up on press row because you've got a lot of athletes and a lot of guys that can move. And my therapist and I talked about it. I should be okay.
Bob Alvis still remembers not so long ago when a player came crashing into him here. Actually, that was down there at William and Mary, I think, wasn't it, Bob?
Yep.
Thornhill getting some direction from Coach Carlero. It looks like Radford's going into his zone and Altavista's second time touching the basketball. So Coach Cormany changing up the defensive game plan as the game goes on. Malbeck, left wing, three-pointer. In and out, no good. Rebound comes down to Nate Jones for Radford. They kick it out, and they want to run. Phillips lost the handle. Excuse me, that's Marcus Finley. He'll tee up a three ball. Back iron, no good. High rebound goes up, and it's stuck back in by Isaiah Phillips on the flush there. One-handed with the putback rebound dunk, and another turnover. Radford's got the basketball again. Finley leaves it for Jones. Jones, three-pointer, back iron, no good. This rebound is loose. It comes down to Radford. Bobcats already doing well on the glass, Bob.
Colonel's got to get on that glass because if so, it's going to be a long day. Radford is long and lanky. It's really like looking in the mirror to a degree.
Thornhill gambled for a steal, and Darius Johnson got the steal instead. He walked.
Good call.
He ran into a body there, and he really could not dribble. But a good steal and a good stop by Darius. Basketball will go back to Radford, and Juan Thornhill telling everybody, hey, let's just calm down, settle it down. It's only a 4-0 lead for Radford here, Bob, but the Bobcats will have the basketball inbounding underneath their own scoring basket.
Colonels have been in big games this year throughout the season on fields and on courts, so I don't think the stage is going to worry them.
That's right. I don't think this early 4-0 deficit bothers them too much, although you got to give Radford credit for coming out and playing well, particularly the big dunk putback by Isaiah Phillips.
And, you know, we talk about Jones and Finley, but Phillips is he's a senior. I mean, he's done this for a while, and you can tell the respect Altavista has for him because they've got Thornhill guarding him.
That's right. Jordan Kicking out, now he'll go to Isaiah Phillips. He'll kick out to Finley. Finley, 3-ball, didn't hit any iron. A lot of contact over there, and they're going to say Michi Malbeck fouled Finley.
It's going to be a 3-shot foul as well.
I think Michi got him on the box out again. Michi stayed down for a little while, too. It will be 3 shots for Marcus Finley and the Radford Bobcats. Finley trying to shake it off. Again, I don't think Michi got him on the shot. I think he just got him on the box out. A little too much body, and maybe Marcus Finley sold it a little bit. No replay, so you have no way of telling.
It happened last week, too. It happened last week against Galax. Real quick, while Finley's at the line, Coach wanted me to send a shout-out to Sarah and Swanson. They came to the last 5 home games. We know their dedication as the first free throw goes down for Finley. Also, Mrs. Drumheller, Kathy Dodson, Mrs. Haywood, and Katie and Blevin. The period, it might be Katie Blevin. I'm not sure. The punctuation kind of rushed this morning as Coach did have a lot of things on his mind, but still send the shout-out to the devoted Colonel fans.
First free throw went in. Second 2 did not. Rebound comes down to Demetrius Johnson for the Altavista Colonels. 5:05 to play. Thornhill controls in the backcourt. Altavista down 5-0. Gets it to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson looking for help. He had to pick up his dribble. Finding brother Darius down low. Great snag by Darius. He puts it up and in. Nice bucket right there. Good way to get the Colonels on the scoreboard. Demetrius to brother Darius Johnson. It's a 5-2 Radford lead.
Chad Ward, the baseball coach, too, might have found a first baseman or an outfielder if he needs one, because that was a great catch by Darius.
Absolutely. Foul as the big man, Zach Bradley, was catching the basketball.
On Altavista.
Yep.
Darius. And it looked like Bradley kind of created his own space right there. But it's going to be against Darius. The first on Altavista, second on the or first on Darius, second on the Colonels. Has a team, and Radford will check in a fresh face in Cook.
DeAndre Cook in the game. Altavista has not substituted yet. Starters still out there for the Colonels with 4:38 to play. Jones will try a three-pointer. In and out. No good. Rebounded by Juan Thornhill. Good job by the Colonels to control the paint on that one, Bob. There was 5 Colonel bodies surrounding that paint, and they really collected the rebound well. Thornhill picks up the dribble on the baseline. Shuffles it down low to Darius Johnson. Johnson, fadeaway jump shot off the iron. No good. Trying to get the steal back.
Got to watch out with that.
Was really putting his hand in the cookie jar there. Radford going quick. Almost a foul on Thornhill, but no whistle as he sort of bodied Phillips out of bounds there as Phillips threw up a half-hearted shot attempt. Thornhill over to Malbeck, right wing. Malbeck sidesteps. Now he'll pull up for the J. No good. Rebound is loose. Controlled by Radford. Bobcats want to run again. They do not have numbers, though. This is DeAndre Cook trying to go against Thornhill.
Wow.
A lot of contact, no call. Darius rejected his second shot attempt. Hubbard has it, and he shuffles it over to Michi Malbeck. Good exchange right there.
You know what? As long as they're going to let him play the whole game, that's fine.
Yep.
I mean, none of this has been malicious with intent, Kyle, either.
Malbeck tried the lob pass down low to Darius Johnson. It was intercepted by the big man, Zach Bradley, for Radford. Here comes Finley. Finley crossover move, head fake the basket, passes it up instead.
Navy ready to check in for the Colonels. Radford's going to send in 3 faces.
Finley holding it right wing. He's going to use a screen. Circles the defense. He'll pull up for 3. 3-ball, front iron. No good. Rebound came down to Radford, but Hubbard poked it away. Coach Carlero not happy with the rebounding effort. And then you can see why. Navy will check in the basketball game for Michi Malbeck, who Michi looks like he's got a little bit of a limp, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's not good news. Walker Allen coming in the game as well.
Walker Allen is going to check in, but Michi not really saying anything about it, except he is holding it. Darius is going to come out as well. Radford with the basketball in the hands of Isaiah Morton.
They've got some subs in as well. Eli Facemeyer had it momentarily, got it right back.
Anthony Milano on the wing right here.
Yep, Morton had it, might have taken an extra step. He got it to Facemeyer. Facemeyer's jump shot, air ball, no good, but rebound came down to the Bobcats. Another offensive rebound for Radford.
This is when Altavista needs to take advantage. Finley not on the court, nor is Nate Jones.
Only starter in the game right now, I think, for Radford is Zach Bradley. No, he's not even out there either.
This is pretty much a new 5.
Exactly. Navy Jones guarding the basketball now. A little bit of an offensive hand check there. Miano driving, rejected by Thornhill. Swatted it away out of bounds. It'll stay Radford basketball, but that brings a lot of cheers from the Altavista crowd that has made the trip.
And very seldom do you see Demetrius get beat off the dribble like that, but they got by Demetrius. Juan was right there to back him up. That's the good thing about this Colonels team. You've always got another guy right behind you, and even though the Colonels play great man-to-man defense, the help defense is outstanding when it wants to be.
Yeah, great help side defense there. Nelson Dews in the game for the Altavista Colonels, so the Colonels are going to their bench. Thornhill almost had a steal. Navy ends up getting it. Pitches it ahead to Juan. Look out below. Thornhill on the jam.
Wow, that's close.
Juan held on to the rim there momentarily, but a man did sort of come underneath him, so I think the referees let it go. Basketball goes out of bounds. It's going back to the Colonels, and this Altavista crowd is really into it now, Bob.
Yeah, and Altavista Altavista and Radford are, I don't want to say they're intermingled, but when we look straight ahead, kind of at half court, Altavista to the left, Radford to the right, and, you know, the VIPs like Robert Duff behind us today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, making sure we stay in check. So this is a good atmosphere.
Absolutely. Navy with a great play to pick up the loose ball that Juan helped create. Threw it ahead to Juan Thornhill, and then Juan with the two-handed dunk. Thornhill head fake, hesitation, now kick out to Nelson Dews. Dews will fire for three. Front iron, rattles around, almost went in. Walker Allen on the offensive glass, sticks it up, count the basket, and he's fouled. And Walker lets out a big roar saying, let's go. Altavista has a lead, 6-5. Walker Allen with a chance at the free throw line for the three-point play.
You want to stick around on KD Country for the next hour and a half or so, because this game is not going to be won in the first quarter. This one could come down to the wire. Luke Wheeler is going to get the foul, and Walker Allen looking to give the Colonels a 2-point lead at the free throw line.
You and I, Bob, on the ride up questioned how much Coach Carlero would go to his bench. Bench play playing a pretty important role early. Allen sinks the free throw. It's a 7-5 Altavista lead.
Gone 8 deep already.
And the guys he's brought in off the bench have played pretty doggone good thus far. Finley back in the basketball game for Radford. He almost lost it. Navy Jones had a steal. Man got three. That's Bradley. Thornhill went up for the block. Bradley with a nice little head fake. Took it to the right side of the rim for the basket. We're tied 7-7.
Good job by Bradley to use that momentum of Juan Thornhill just to get right by it.
Yeah, Juan had to gamble with the help side defense again. Wasn't much he could do.
Altavista was trying to get the 5-second call.
Yep, Nelson Dews fell down momentarily, threw it over to Juan Thornhill from one knee. Now it's in Walker Allen's hands. Allen picks up his dribble. And Navy Jones will just hold the basketball.
And there was probably a good 4.3, by the way, of getting close to getting it.
Yep. Navy right there in jump circle, about 3 feet in front of half court. 1:32 to play in the first quarter, 7-7 ball game.
Colonels have been on some big floors this week, Kyle, practicing to get ready for this trip to the Siegel Center.
They practiced at LU, practiced at LC. They did a little shoot around at LC Bird High School, I think, today.
Well, Bradley and Demetrius battling down low, too.
Yeah, Nelson Dews' three-pointer was long. Demetrius almost got the rebound. Here comes Radford going the other way. Jordan driving, jump stop. Going to get a foul, and it's going the other way. Nice job by Navy Jones to take the charge. This foul will go against R.J. Jordan for the Bobcats. 1:10 to play in the Apple Market first quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game here from the Siegel Center.
Kind of surprised as Michi Malbeck checks back in, showing no ill effects. Darius Johnson also in. Walker Allen, Navy Jones, and Juan Thornhill, the other three Colonels. You know, with the media sitting, at least the press, the photographers, sitting at the basket, I'm surprised Coach Carlero didn't call us and just say, hey, sit down there at the basket so we can get used to that, too.
Ballback looking for somebody inbound. Had to hurry. Used up about 4 seconds of the 5-second count. Juan wants everybody else to clear out of the backcourt. He'll trot it up into the Altavista scoring side. 7-7. We're down to 60 seconds to play in the first quarter. Malbeck has it now.
And I say that jokingly, but it is a subtle difference that you've got to pick up on, too, at the state final.
A lot of different things going on here at the Siegel Center as far as the atmosphere, but Altavista is used to it. Yep. Darius has it now, middle of the court. Chest pass over to Walker Allen. Allen, couple ball fakes. Now he'll bounce, pass it back to Darius down low, right side of the paint. Off the window, won't go in, but Darius got his own rebound. Sticks the second one up. That won't go. Rebound is loose. Thornhill tried to tie it up. They're going to whistle Juan Thornhill with a reaching in foul. He tried to cause the jump ball. Said he got a little too much of the physical contact there. That's Juan's first. It comes with 37.4 seconds to go in the quarter.
To be honest with you, I'm kind of glad it was on Juan and not on Darius right there, because it would have been Darius' second, and Darius likes to hang around and be sneaky. The game before this one, Chilhowie and Honecker, in the girls' realm, Chilhowie wins the state title, so Altavista can at least say they were beat by the team that hoisted the trophy at the end.
Demetrius Johnson back on the court. He joins Richard Hubbard, Darius Johnson, Navy Jones, and Michi Malbeck. Thornhill taking his first break in a while. I don't think he came out in that state semifinal game, Bob.
No, and he'll probably take it the rest of the 30 seconds, too. Radford, wouldn't surprise me if they hold for one, Kyle.
Yeah, they showed a lot of those same tendencies. Jones with the crossover dribble. He's back in the game. 5-second count. Jones didn't know they were calling 5 seconds. Darius loves it. Great defensive pressure by Darius Johnson right there. Or excuse me, Demetrius
yeah,
Johnson.
Well, even the Radford coaching staff is saying, well, there was a gap, but that's a boo-boo on Radford, because if somebody sees that, they need to tell him to get rid of that basketball. Right. I mean, the officials don't just count it in their head. They use the hand.
Yeah, they use the hand signal. The 5-second rule there to encourage continuous play. You got to break that 6-foot barrier.
Juan back in.
Yes, he is. 20 seconds left. We'll see if the Colonels hold for one. 7-7 ball game here. Late stages of the first quarter. Thornhill driving, stopped at the three-point line. Hesitation move. Now he goes around, tried to bounce past it away, and he lost it. Intercepted by Radford. Here come the Bobcats going the other way. They've got 8 seconds now. It's in the hands of Marcus Finley. Studying the defense. Got to hurry now. Down to 4. Finley picks up the dribble. Gets rid of it. Long one coming from Isaiah Phillips. Air ball, no good. There's the horn to end the first quarter. Altavista, Radford, they're all tied. 7-7. Second quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
GMC Certified Service, Highview Motors, state inspections, transmission repair, tire sales, Highview Motors. If your ride has been in an accident, Highview Motors has the latest collision repair center and body shop. Drive-on frame machine, down-drive paint booth with baking oven, GMC and ASE certified technicians. Great selection of professional-grade GMC trucks and pre-owned cars. Highview Motors, Main Street, Altavista.
Highview Motors, GMC.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated, is Virginia's premier Thomas-built bus dealer. Sonny Merriman has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for more than 45 years. Sonny Merriman is recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction. Sonny Merriman wishes to recognize the Altavista Colonels basketball teams on their outstanding season, and good luck in tournament play.
Now, back to the action on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista Colonels 7, Radford Bobcats 7. Altavista trailed early. Bob Walker Allen with a nice offensive rebound. The stick back, and he was fouled. Colonels took the lead on that play. We're tied again, and that is probably not the last time we're going to be saying that.
No, I don't think so. They went on a 7-0 run. They started in a whole 5-0, and then Altavista comes back. When you look at the stat sheet here, Kyle, exactly accurate on the field goals. Both teams 3 out of 11. Both teams have not hit a 3 yet. Both teams have hit 1 free throw. Radford had 3 attempted. Altavista only had 1. Colonel's got to get better on that glass, though. Getting beat 11-6. 6 of those rebounds by Radford have been offensive, each team with 5 turnovers, so maybe trying to get some jitters out early.
Yeah, and I think the offensive rebounds for Radford, they didn't lead the points every time, Bob, but they certainly led the points far too many times that Coach Cardellaro would prefer. And you heard him yelling at his team, hey, get on the glass, box out when that shot goes up. And I do think the Colonels got better at that as the quarter wore on there.
Yeah, and, you and I both have commented, Nate Jones can get to the glass. Isaiah Phillips can get on the glass. Marcus Finley is just, to me, a smaller version of Amici Malbec maybe, or maybe about the same size. They can get to the glass, so you got to get butt to the gut, so to speak.
Absolutely, boxing out going to be very important. Officials talking some uniform situations over with the brothers.
Hope they don't
Johnson.
Come look at your shirt tail. Don't think it's tucked in.
My shirt tail is out here today. Radford basketball to start the second quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game.
It's been about 12 years since these two teams met. 10 to 12 years, and they met on this floor in a state semifinal. Altavista was victorious that evening.
3 ball on the way from Finley. Iron, no good. They're going to call an offensive foul on Isaiah Phillips there. Illegal box out. Don't know who he was getting too much of, but the officials saw it, and they whistled it against Radford. And Phillips did come down with the offensive rebound, by the way, so that's big for the Altavista Colonels. A little full court pressure.
Colonels are close to shooting. That's 5 team fouls on Radford.
Yeah, full court pressure from Radford right now in the backcourt. Yeah, and I know the Colonels would love to get to that free throw line more, Bob. I think Coach Cardellaro likes the progress they've made from the stripe throughout the season.
Well, if you can get 3 baskets, too, nobody turns anything free down, Kyle.
That's right.
You should know that better than anyone.
That's exactly right. Thornhill looking into that defense. It looks like a 2-3 zone. Radford's in again. Malback thought about a 3. Head fake. Now he'll use the dribble. Pitching it back out. Top of the key to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson over to Thornhill, right wing. Thornhill leaves it off for Richard Hubbard. Hubbard now back to Demetrius, middle of the court. He'll throw it right wing to Thornhill with the overhead pass. 7:10 to play here in the Apple Market second quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game.
Interested to see how much time Altavista will run off the clock with Radford sticking to this zone right now.
I think Altavista's going to be very patient, look for the open shot, maybe a 3, maybe something inside.
It's a bit of a matchup, Kyle, because you see Finley coming out a lot on Hubbard when Hubbard's got it towards that corner near the Radford bench right there in front of Rick Cormany. Altavista going into the Radford student section right now. Radford doing the same thing with Altavista. So the second half, they'll both be going to friendlier confines.
Yep, bounce pass, middle of the lane. Darius Johnson puts the 2 up. No good. Rebound comes down to Isaiah Phillips for Radford. He'll run the court himself with a left-hand dribble. Driving in the lane. Wow, threw up a wild one, and there was some contact there. Altavista comes down with the rebound. Darius Johnson, credit for pulling that board in.
Juan, again, trying to step in and take the charge. I thought he probably did. No call either way, though. Thornhill will fire a 3.
Pull up 3. No good. Offensive rebound by Darius Johnson. Took some contact on the stick-back attempt. Basketball going out of bounds, and it'll stay for the Altavista Colonels. Squirted out of Darius's hands, but they say it was knocked out by Radford.
If you're Altavista and Radford and you're looking to the officials for help, forget about it, because they are letting the kids play here. You know, you saw Bradley get down to the ground and kind of threw his hands up like, what, I got fouled.
Yep. There's some contact out there. There's some fouls that have been called, but probably a few more that haven't been called. There's one called right there. Malbeck caught the inbounds pass, and he was bumped by Marcus Finley. And Bob mentioned it a second ago. Radford inching closer to the 7 foul mark. That is their 5th right there. First one on Marcus Finley. Altavista basketball on the sideline. Michi will do the honors right there in front of the Radford bench. 6:16 to play. It's a 7-7 ball game. Thornhill gets it on the inbounds catch. He'll dribble. Looks like Radford may have gone back into the man-to-man. Yep. Jones stepping out to check Demetrius Johnson. Johnson, little hip shake dribble there. Leaves it for Juan Thornhill on the bounce pass. Juan off the window. Won't go in, but he got his own rebound. And that one just hung up on the rim and just frozen there momentarily. This rebound comes down to Nate Jones. There are bodies flying everywhere. Radford wants to run. Jordan, pull up 2 from about 12 feet. No good. Jones with the tip in with one hand. 9-7 Radford leads.
Well, you mentioned the football staff is here. I might need a helmet because I feel like things are getting a little wild.
Yeah, at least some hip pads and some thigh pads. Those hurt when you hit the deck like that. Demetrius has it. He'll break the timeline with a left-hand dribble. He's double-teamed momentarily. In a bit of trouble, throws it long for Thornhill. Thornhill, nice catch and stayed in bounds. Juan, bounce pass to Darius Johnson. Johnson off the window from the left side and in. We are tied 9-9. Darius Johnson with a basket. 5:10 to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Michi Malbeck guarding the basketball. It's Marcus Finley dribbling. Gets rid of it to R.J. Jordan. Jordan now to Jones. Jones pull up 3. He is fouled, and they count the basket. Was it a 2 or a 3, Bob? He was close to the line. Yep. Wow. I think they got one. Thornhill, second foul. Yep. It's 11-9, so they did call it a 2. Nate Jones must have just had a foot on the line. Jones ready for the three-point play try here.
It's Altavista's 14th foul, Kyle. Pardon me.
No, you're fine. 5:09 to play here in the Apple Market second quarter.
Biggest lead so far has been 5. That was by Radford early on when they got up to a 5-0 lead. I don't think you're going to see many leads above 5 in this game today.
I would agree. I'd be surprised anyway. Free throw does go down, so it's a 12-9 lead for the Radford Bobcats. Malbeck breaks the timeline. Here comes the double team. Tries to go to Darius Johnson. Johnson is fouled by Zach Bradley. Now the officials are starting to call some things. It's interesting. They call the fouls a lot, Bob, when guys catch and will get bumped. But I'm telling you, down there around the rim, it's sort of a free-for-all when those rebounds go up. You can kind of bang and body all you want.
Yeah, good point. Birds are starting to chirp a little bit now when you get near that sideline or kind of in the act of shooting a few times, too. Richard Hubbard's going to take the inbounds and gets it in. Michi Malbeck's coming around right side, lost it, got it back, tries to squirt it down low to Darius, still a scrum for it, and Juan is going to pick it up and set up shop.
Thornhill came out of there somehow into the fire and came away with the basketball. 12-9, Colonels trail, 4:40 left to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Juan, right wing, using the right-hand dribble. Looking inside the defense, going to pull up for 3. Thornhill, front iron on the 3.
Wow, no one around the glass for Altavista. That ball actually hit the floor.
Radford did a good job clearing out. They did a good job in transition. Isaiah Phillips with the bucket on the layup. Coach Cardellaro wants a timeout. We'll take it with them. Altavista trails 14-9. 4.5 left to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
For more than 103 years, we've offered special banking assistance to many nonprofit organizations. I'm Kathy Morgan with First National Bank, and we have a checking account just for nonprofits and faith-based organizations that has no minimum balance requirement and no monthly maintenance fee. We also specialize in offering financing when your group needs a loan. So come see us at First National Bank, and we'll provide your organization with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your high school sports station, 105.5 KD Country.
The Altavista Colonels trail by 5 on 105.5 or at kdcountry.com. 4.5 left to play in the Apple Market second quarter, Bob. 3 great locations to serve you in Altavista. Main Street, Gateway, in Riverside. What do you think Coach C had to say in the timeout?
Get a basket probably for one. Stop this little run that they're going on and get on the glass. The lack of rebounding for Altavista, to me, is somewhat inexcusable here so far early.
Yeah, Radford continues to be really good on the glass. They really out-rebounded Surrey in their state semifinal win.
Well, if Jones is going to go up and grab it away from somebody, that's one thing. But when a ball bounces off the rim and bounces onto the floor, that's not okay.
Yep. 2-3 zone defense for Radford again.
And if that was happening the other way, I'll bet you Rick Cormany would say the same thing. That is not okay. Ball does not hit the floor.
That's right. Thornhill looking at the Altavista sideline, waiting for the signal from Coach C to run the offensive set. They get it to Richard Hubbard down middle of the court. Hubbard passing to Thornhill. Thornhill catches, studying the defense from the right wing. Now he'll bring it more in between the circles, middle of the floor, over to Michi Malbeck, left point.
Number 2's got to be careful because he's got to. You don't want anything cheap in the last 3.5.
That's exactly right. Thornhill's a smart player, though. We'll see what happens, though. He's an aggressive player as well. He's got it down there in the right corner from us. Colonel's going left to right from our perspective here courtside at the Siegel Center in Richmond. Thornhill with a little head fake. Altavista trailing 14-9 over the Radford Bobcats. 1A state final action from Richmond.
Michi, the playoff Mohawk, back in effect.
Thornhill.
I thought about it.
I know you thought about the Mohawk. Thornhill can't find any room, any gaps in that 2-3 defense right now. So the Altavista Colonels just be patient. They're passing around the perimeter. It's been outside the three-point line for the last minute or so since we've been talking, Bob. We're down to 3 minutes to play. Hubbard wants to try a three. Short, no good. Rebound comes down to Radford. That was a long rebound. Radford wants to run again in transition. Shot won't go in for Finley. Rebound comes down to Thornhill. Thornhill is fouled.
Jordan.
And Thornhill is going to head to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1 because it's the 17th foul on Radford. Radford still with the lead, 14-9. They will not say it's a shooting foul. Now they've noticed, and they noticed the 1-and-1. This is going to send number 2 Juan Thornhill to the free throw line with 2:51 to play in the half.
Yeah, and I see a lot of our friends across the way from Altavista, Mr. Wilkerson, Andy McCracken. We loved having him up in the booth one time this year, Miss Grisinda. So I feel safe. The administration is here, so we're good to go on that front.
Yeah, I think we're okay. We got it well staffed here. Thornhill's first free throw goes in. Bit of a line drive free throw there from Juan. Makes it a 14-10 Radford lead. Altavista's first basket in a little while.
And you really get spoiled when you come up here, too, with the stats and everything like that handed to you. Mike McCall, best hire the VHSL has ever made at the media specialist position.
Second one on the way from Juan. It's long, trying to track down his own rebound. He got it, stuck it up and in.
I don't know if he missed that on purpose. It almost looked like it.
He might not have missed it on purpose, but it is classic Juan Thornhill. Tried to take another charge. Jones got his own rebound on the shot attempt, stuck it right back up and in. 16-12. Radford extending the lead back to a 4-point lead. 2.5 to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Malbeck catches just feet in front of us here on the right sideline. Breaks the timeline. Gets it ahead over middle of the court to Thornhill. Thornhill left wing to Hubbard, back to Juan.
We always laud Altavista's defense, but Radford defensively a good job as well.
Good offensive rebound by Darius Johnson, but I think they're going to get Darius for the foul. No, they're going to get whoever fouled brother Demetrius actually on the other side of the court. I don't know if it's a foul you like to have, Bob, because Darius caught the offensive rebound. He was going to stick it back up for an easy 2. Wipe that basket off on Bradley. This will send Demetrius to the line for a 1-and-1. It's not like soccer. You can't call the old continuation play or anything like that. It's not like the NBA either. They do that some there. So, you see a foul, you call a foul. It doesn't matter what was happening, whether it benefited, whichever team.
Right, yeah, it's going to send Demetrius to the stripe. Zach Bradley's second foul. So Bradley and Jordan, 2 of the starting 5, both have 2 fouls.
First free throw in the air for Demetrius Johnson. Nothing but net. It's good. Makes it 16-13. Altavista trailing by 3. 2:20 left to play in the Apple Market second quarter. Second one on the way now. Walker Allen checked into the basketball game as well with Navy Jones. Jones, Allen, brothers Johnson, both of them, and Juan Thornhill on the court right now for the Colonels. The second one rattled in, but did go down. 16-14. Altavista only down 2. Nate Jones will bring it into the front court for the Radford Bobcats. Looking for a teammate, and he finds Luke Wheeler. Wheeler now over to DeAndre Cook, who's back in the basketball game. Guarded by Walker Allen. Drugged the foot just a little bit there. No whistle on the traveling call, though. Still Radford basketball. It's in the hands of Marcus Finley. Finley, left wing, goes to Wheeler. Top of the key, they'll go back to Isaiah Phillips. Front iron, no good. Jones tipped the rebound for Altavista, but it went out of bounds. They're going to say off of Radford. And now they've changed their mind.
That was clearly off of Canavis's hand. And if you're Altavista, I think, too, you just want them to grab, if you're a coaching staff, you want them to grab that ball 2 hands.
Yeah, Jones didn't really have a good angle on us. I think that he felt like the best play he had was to try and tip it to a teammate.
But keeping it out of Nate Jones's hands, too, is also a good bet.
Very good point. 3-ball on the way for Radford. No good, but they get the rebound on the air ball. Man's foot was on the line as he got the rebound. I think it was Marcus Finley that tried the three, and Isaiah Phillips, Bob, that collected the board with a foot on the baseline. Altavista basketball, 1:44 to play in the half. Wouldn't it be great for the Colonels to take the lead here going into the locker room? They trail by 2 right now.
Well, you'd at least like to get things even, Steven. At the worst, Radford showing some pressure in the backcourt, so Navy, Juan, and Michi all in the backcourt, and so is Walker Allen.
Yep, it's like a 2-2-1 full court press for Radford. Juan looking for Michi Malbeck, but it's tipped away. Basketball is going to stay to the Altavista Colonels there along the right sideline. 1:33 to play in the Apple Market second quarter. 16-14, Altavista trailing by 2.
I don't know if that's really Juan's preferred method of passing and getting up in the air, because when you get up in the air, you kind of commit yourself. Michi's going down deep again.
Darius picked up the loose ball. He is fouled from behind. Shot wouldn't go in. He got hacked pretty hard. It's going to send Darius Johnson to the foul line. Yeah, Michi was throwing it up high for one. Thornhill on the inbound, and the loose ball just came down to Darius Johnson, who took it right to the basket, and this will send Darius to the strike for 2 free throws. 1:29 left to play in the half.
And I hate to correct your verbiage, but I would say clobbered by Isaiah Phillips, as Darius will sink the first, and it's a 1-point game. Kyle, we've even got coaches that Altavista's played against listening this fine Saturday. Jared Hatcher, the head coach of the R.E. Lee Stateman, listening. So I'm sure I'm going to get a critique text later on tonight.
Well, big shout-out to Coach Hatcher. And
he was in the media game.
Any other basketball coaches that are tuned in?
A lot here.
Absolutely. Radford basketball in the front court. Jones has it right point. It's a 16-16 ball game. Darius Johnson converted both free throws. 1:12 left to play in the half. Jones driving, got by his man, then kick out into the corner for a 3. Finley, 3-ball in and out, no good. Nice rebound by Walker Allen. Allen's been a nice presence on the glass off the bench for the Colonels so far.
Got to think, well, Altavista hold for one. They don't look like it with the way they're going towards the basket.
Juan stopped at the free throw line. Dish to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck off-bounce runner wouldn't go in. Rebound comes down to the Bobcats. They had to save it inbounds. Marcus Finley grabs the pass from Anthony Miano. Long pass goes ahead to DeAndre Cook. Cook leaves it for Jones in the lane. Jones scores the basket. Radford lead again, 18-16 with a 40-second margin remaining on the clock in this half.
That was a little bit Dan Riverish right there. Radford, I don't think, knew what they were doing and kind of got out of control. It worked out, and they got the bucket. Wildcats on the floor at 8:30 tonight.
Radford in a man-to-man defense now. Looks like Eli Facemeyer guarding Juan Thornhill. Thornhill toes on the right wing, 3-point line. Looking inside the defense. Juan is the only one on the right side of the court right now, Bob.
Now this might be last shot situation. We're down to 14.
18-16. Altavista trailing. Thornhill driving. Kick out to Michi Malbeck. Malbeck 3 from the wing. Count it. Altavista lead. 19-18 on the Michi Malbeck 3. Down to 2 seconds. Finley's going to get a nice look at 3 for Radford. Off the back plate. No good. Altavista will head to the locker room with a 1-point lead thanks to the 3-ball from Michi Malbeck. 19-18. Colonels lead. Subway halftime show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet.
In Altavista.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoons, so you can buy anytime, any day, 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show begins here from the Siegel Center in Richmond. Subway, eat fresh. Two great locations in Altavista to do that, on Main Street and also in the Walmart on the Clarion Road. Meatball marinara, Black Forest ham. It's always good at Subway. Bob, second quarter was a little bit better there for the Altavista Colonels. They lead 19-18. Big three ball there from Michi Malbach to end the half there for the Altavista Colonels.
First three ball for anybody. Both teams shooting a combined 1 out of 18 from beyond the arc. That's not too impressive. That's not going to make Dr. Naismith sit up in the box downstairs. But 10-8 rebounding advantage for Altavista in the second quarter, and I think that's the bigger number than anything, because Altavista on the glass in quarter one was just not up to par, getting out-rebounded 11-6. Honestly, it felt worse, though, to me. It did, just because I think of how many of those points came off second chances.
No, you're right, and it looked worse at times there, the way Radford was really just clearing out the paint, and there wasn't an Altavista body to be found thanks to the really good boxing out by Radford. But you're right, Altavista did do a much better job of rebounding in the second quarter there, and it's a big reason, I would say, why they have the 1-point lead, 19-18.
Believe it or not, only 2 turnovers in that quarter.
Well, that's impressive, too. You know, I think obviously both these teams well-schooled, but, one thing you never want to have is too many turnovers, particularly at this stage in the game. It's a 19-18 Altavista Colonel lead. Couple more shout-outs for you there. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say my favorite type of turnover is at Subway when they turn the bread over and squeeze the sandwich together. 6-inch meatball is on for $3, I believe, this month.
Yep.
So, and, you can't go wrong. Like I said, Subway is the one place where the wrong decision's just not going in.
Yeah, it's great when you try and pile on so many veggies that you think, oh, there's no way they're going to be able to turn that sub over, but they always do there at Subway. They'll find a way.
Kendra and crew down there, I mean, that is, that's not even a challenge. That's not even a challenge for them.
Well, let's hold on to those shout-outs for just a second and few more thoughts. We'll step aside again and let our sponsors have their say. It's a 19-18 Altavista Colonel lead in the 1A state championship game from the Siegel Center in Richmond. Back after this timeout on the Subway pregame show to 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
English is
so much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English
is your complete home center. Everything for every job you do. Always here for you.
Get the quality you really need at English is.
So much more.
English is
More than a hardware store.
English
is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista, open Saturday 8 to 4.
This month's specials from your Apple Market convenience stores. Coke and Pepsi 6-pack cans at $1.99. Free bacon biscuit with the purchase of 2 Mountain Dew Kickstarts. Double-decker Moon Pie for $1 with the purchase of any size coffee. Enjoy 2 chicken tender biscuits for $2.49 at the Apple Market locations. Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street, Altavista. You know what they say. Stop by the Apple today.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns with the Altavista Colonels leading 19-18, and it's easy to confuse that halftime, pregame, postgame, intermission.
It's the pregame for the second half.
That's right. It's the Subway show, let's put it that way. Colonels lead 19-18. Bob, it really is a great time of the year to be a basketball fan, and I know one of the best basketball fans I know, Matt Nolan at home, he's watching the Wahoos while listening to us. It doesn't get much better than that if you're a Hoops fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you. And you know, Southpaw's got the basketball on his brain right now.
Right, and I was going to do shout-outs, but most of my people are here. I mean, Ty Gafford's here, Dean Hubbard's here, my old friend Keith Harkins in the house. He's good friends with Mr. McClure, and he's been out to a lot of these games. Robert Duff took a picture of my head earlier and showed me how beautiful it was. And then my Rockbridge County folks, Coach Travis Rogers and Paul Pelter. I'm going to engage in some pro wrestling trivia when we're done here today, Kyle, with Coach Pelter. Always great seeing them. Coach Hatcher is listening. I feel sure there are some other, people. And, Media Row, I mean, it's full of celebrities. I saw my good friend Gary Hess, who gave me a bear hug when he first saw me. I didn't know that was the prototype for Media Row now, bear hug.
Well, when you're loved like you are, Bob Alvis, sometimes the bear hug is the only thing that will cut it.
I think it's trying to squeeze the life out of me, actually.
Right. Coach Mike Sharness from the Altavista football team sitting right behind us, along with Coach Revis and Coach Mabry. They made the trip up to see the action in person. They're state champions as well, on the football side there. And, you think about some of these guys like the Thornhills and the Johnsons and Navy Jones and Michi Malbeck and, Walker Allen. There's a lot of guys from Altavista that could really have a fistful of rings when their career is done. But you can't count your chickens before they hatch. And I know that's one of the things that Coach Cardellaro talked about all year. There's a lot of people that are just saying, hey, we can just hand you another state championship because you won one last year and you got a lot of guys back. Not so fast, my friend. I mean, you got to get out there and win the game, and you got to beat great teams like the Radford Bobcats here today.
Well, I'll ditto that on the other side. I don't think Rick Cormany thought this was a walkover game either. I called him on Wednesday morning and said, Coach, how you doing? He said, not too good. I'm like, man, something happening? He's like, because he works in the guidance department, which is they actually do some work, not knocking the teachers, but he had to have grades in. There was an SOL test coming up, so Coach Cormany definitely, under the gun there at Radford High School, doing a great job. That's a great administration up there with athletic director Greg Wade, two very good friend of our friend Chip Berry at EC Glass. So, these are two class programs, and it's almost one of those you hate to see a loser today.
Yeah, two very, very good teams, and like you said, two very good programs. Everybody does things right at Radford. Same thing in Altavista. We would not be here if it wasn't for the support of the community and the school itself. Ty Gafford, the principal, Dean Hubbard, the athletic director, and of course, Coach Cardellaro himself. Hey, speaking of class, Bob, another big hello to a friend of mine, Mickey Dudley. Called the station earlier this week, Bob. He said he's been listening to you and I and whoever else we let on the radio for that matter, too. But he's been listening to the Colonels for, I don't know what he said, 12, 13, 14 years, maybe longer than that, but really enjoys Altavista basketball, and he called the station earlier this week to let us know that he'd be listening. So big hello to Mickey Dudley. Mike Foran, too. Maybe he didn't hear earlier, but we won't go through that whole bit about how he's the best official in the area. We don't have time for that. It's a Subway halftime show. And the Colonels with the 19-18 lead, maybe some halftime stats, I guess, Bob Alvis here as the halftime show's winding down.
Yeah, you want them now?
Sure.
All right.
It's up to you.
No, I'm
I can
good.
finish this chicken enchilada melt I have from Subway if you want.
Michi Malbeck with 3 points for the Colonels. Juan Thornhill has 5. Demetrius Johnson with 2. They both came from the stripe. Darius Johnson has 6. And Walker Allen with 3. For Radford, Nate Jones, he's been the show so far, 11 points and 5 boards. Isaiah Phillips has 4. Zach Bradley with 2. And Marcus Finley with 1. Finley, I mean, you look at the shooting numbers, and this is what I talked about when you get on big floors and depth perception and all this and all that. Finley, who we saw at Salem, which is a big floor too, it's not like this one, though. Finley's 0 for 7.
Yeah.
You look at Altavista's. Darius is 2 for 7. Juan's 2 for 6. Michi's 1 for 5. That one was a big one, though. That 3 headed into intermission. So a lot of struggling shooting, and this might be, it's like I said, March is survive in advance. And that not only goes for the state basketball tournament, but that's life in March. I mean, just survive in advance. Winter weather maybe on the way on Monday. You just want to get through it.
Yeah, I said last week it was Winter's last chance there. Fourth quarter comeback for Winter for that last snow we had. I guess Winter's going to try and turn it into an overtime on Monday or something. But we'll see how that pans out. We'll see how the second half of this one pans out. It's a 19-18 Altavista Colonel lead. They were down 2 in the late stages of that first half there. Michi Malbeck hit a left wing three-pointer there with about 5 seconds remaining. And exciting stuff here from the Siegel Center, Bob.
It was a 7-7 game going into quarter 2. Nate Jones got the first basket. Darius got the next basket, which made it 9-9. Colonels didn't lead again until Malbeck's 3 there right at the end. So even though I said statistically things got better, well, Radford led that whole quarter, except at the very end, right, when Michi hits the 3. And again, it's a 1-point game. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the battle at team camp earlier this
Yeah.
season. I mean, that we need to broadcast that one next year. Just find out where the camp is, and we'll go.
A lot of people talked about that. These two teams did match up in a summer camp game earlier this year. You got different players, different atmosphere, that kind of thing. I don't think you can read too much into that.
It's fun to get out there and go and say, hey, we might see him in March or something. But, I mean, I just look at it from the competitor standpoint, and we're waiting while TV gets adjusted. But the competitor standpoint, if I threw a quarter on the floor and said, go get it, I think Juan and Nate Jones would probably be two of the first guys on the floor, quickly followed by the next 8.
Yeah, that's a great point you bring up, Bob. These guys on these teams, they're competitive. They want to win no matter what the situation is, whether it's the last game here in March, whether it's the first game in November or December. Doesn't matter. They're just competitive, the ones they want to get after it. Altavista basketball to start the second half. Michi Malbeck throws it into the backcourt to Thornhill. Thornhill with a big smile on his face as he brings it into the front court.
Colonel's to the left, Radford to the right.
Yeah, now it looks like a man-to-man, actually, Bob. It started out looking like a zone defense, but I think Radford might be in the man-to-man.
But it's lax.
You're right.
Very lax.
They're giving Darius Johnson a lot of room there. Johnson steps inside the three-point line with a right-hand dribble. He'll one-hand pass it over to Michi Malbeck, right point. And Michi just holding the basketball, no 5-second count. Now he'll dribble with the left hand.
Well, you got people following people, but, I think if Hubbard popped out a little more, he wouldn't even have a man on him. Demetrius at three-point strike with it now.
Head faked a three-pointer. Now he'll dribble it more left wing. He's guarded by Nate Jones. He'll just hand it off to Juan Thornhill right behind him. Thornhill, pull up, 17-footer. Jump shot, no good. Rebound is loose. Rebound is controlled by Richard Hubbard and the Altavista Colonels.
And, even if I'm going man-to-man, but giving Altavista this much room, there's no 5-second count. Well, now there is.
Yeah. Michi, pull up, jump shot from the left elbow, no good. Rebounded by Darius Johnson. Johnson sticks it up and in. Big bucket right there for the Altavista Colonels. They ran a full minute and 5 seconds off the clock, too. We're down to 6:50 left to play in the third quarter. Altavista 21-18. Jones driving, count the basket, and he's fouled. Boy, that happened quickly. Radford got it into the front court in a hurry. Jones caught it in the left corner, streaked across the baseline, stuck it in with the right hand for 2.
Yeah, and that foul is going to go against Darius Johnson, his second. Nate Jones, by the way, is only a junior, but I'm sure there are some college coaches in the building, and I might want to talk to him before he leaves today and, just say, hey, Nate, I know you got one more year, but we'd love to have you after that.
Well, interestingly enough, Nate Jones' father is the head coach at Radford University for men's basketball. So, don't know if they got a game today or not. They may be bouncing the Big South tournament. Yeah. Jones missed the free throw. It's a 21-20 Altavista Colonel lead. Demetrius Johnson headed to the basket, left side, fouled on his way up. They'll call it a blocking foul on number 50, Zach Bradley. This will send Demetrius Johnson to the free throw line. 6:34 to play. The Apple Market third quarter. It's the third foul on the 6'4 senior for Radford, Zach Bradley.
I got to believe that there is kind of a loophole, but that's got to be difficult with Nate's dad, head coach at Radford.
Oh, right, with the recruiting and whatnot. Yeah, exactly.
Is it a silent dinner table? I mean, can you not talk? Do you have to limit the amount of text and, going to his bedroom, is that an official visit?
First free throw goes in as the Bob Alvis comedy routine is on. But, no, it's a funny point.
I mean, it's halfway funny, but it's halfway serious.
Second free throw goes down as well, so Demetrius converts both of them. It's a 23-20 Altavista lead there with 6:34 left to play in the Apple Market third quarter. Jones will bring it up the right side.
He's got a good frame, that's for sure.
Yep. Not too often you'll find 6'1", 6'4 guards at the 1A level. Gets it to Phillips. Phillips, nice little dump off there for Jordan. Now he'll kick out to Finley. Great ball movement by Radford, and it leads to a 3. Finley sinks it from the right wing, and we're tied 23-23 with 6:15 left to go in the third quarter.
Last guy with that frame on the 1A level that I can remember is Jeremy Booth.
Thornhill, spin move, hesitation. Now he'll bring it back out to the perimeter, right wing. He's standing right in front of the Altavista bench right now, looking inside the defense. Bounce passes the free throw line to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson driving. Right hand goes in. There was some contact there at the finish. No whistle, though. Didn't bother Demetrius Johnson. 25-23. Colonels take the lead back.
Feels like both teams' offenses, Kyle, are starting to loosen up.
I think you're right. Pull-up jump shot coming from the Bobcats. It's sink. It goes down.
Miano.
Yep. Anthony Miano with the free throw line jump shot, tied again, 25-25. We predicted we might be saying that a lot. We were right. Malbeck left-hand dribble in between the circles.
Well, the most popular playground equipment in Altavista and Radford right now is definitely the seesaw, because that's the way this one's going.
The bounce pass it over left wing to Hubbard. Hubbard low post to Darius Johnson. Johnson got bumped as he caught it. Nice move inside. Power move to the finish for Darius Johnson. Another Altavista lead, 27-25. Back and forth basketball here from the Siegel Center in Richmond. State championship Saturday for the Altavista Colonels. They've been a part a lot of these over the last few years. Nate Jones catches top of the key for Radford. Spin move, got it poked away. Hubbard comes away with it, but it was Demetrius that caused the strip. Hubbard, left hand layup, goes down. 4-point Altavista Colonel lead, 29-25.
Well, I think Coach Corman wants to see some defense out of his club. Radford is just falling asleep.
What a defensive effort there by Demetrius, Bob. The little poke check to knock it away. Hubbard came away with it, and then the layup. Jones has it. Right-hand dribble. He's guarded by the aforementioned Demetrius Johnson again. High ball screen. Demetrius runs through it. They get it over to Miano, top of the key, who is guarded by Darius Johnson.
If Radford doesn't score here and Altavista somehow does, I've got to think that's going to necessitate a timeout.
Yep, basketball goes out of bounds. Turnover by Radford. Pass was too high. Radford is kind of in that boat that Altavista was in early in the first quarter. Colonels weathered that storm. Let's see if Radford can get through this one here, but I agree with you. Another Altavista basket, and I think Coach Cormany would think heavily about a timeout.
I mean, you kind of had one right there as Bradley checks in, but I mean, that the whistle stopped play anyway. So
yeah, didn't get to bring the team together necessarily and talk things over. Thornhill left-hand dribble, headed left side of the paint. Nice bounce pass to Darius Johnson for the basket. Count to 2. Nice assist by Juan Thornhill on the slash to the bucket.
Well, Darius is going to be called for his third. Kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Yep,
but he was reaching.
Michi sort of asking him what exactly you were thinking there. And Darius, I know what he's thinking. He's just trying to make a play and get a steal. He will check out. Walker Allen in the basketball game now for the Colonels. He joins Malbeck, Hubbard, Demetrius Johnson, and Thornhill. 4:09 left to play in the Apple Market third quarter. Colonels leading 31-25, Bob.
And I feel like Radford needs a bucket somehow, some way. Nate Jones had his back turned. Knocks out of bounds. Radford's going to knock into the scorer's table, and Altavista's going to get it back.
Radford saved it, but it was right into the hands of the Altavista Colonels.
That pass was intended for Jones, though.
Malbeck, spinning jump shot off the window and in. Michi Malbeck from about 13 feet. Not necessarily a high percentage look the way he was spinning, but Michi got it to go. 33-25 Colonels lead. Hand check foul on Walker Allen about 30 feet away from the basket. He's not happy with himself.
It's the third foul on Altavista this half. And, we talk about it all the time, Kyle, of the coaches know their teams better, and, they see them more than we do. But I'm shocked that Radford's letting this one roll without kind of trying to stop this. This is an 8-0 run right now.
I believe Coach Cormany has the full complement of timeouts at his disposal. He didn't use any in the first half. Jones picks up his dribble, finds in the corner. That's Finley for 3. Good. Count the basket. Radford needed that in a big way. 33-28 now, Colonels lead.
And now they need to make the commitment to defense and try to get back in this one. I mean, I don't want to say it's in danger of getting out of hand, but you don't want Altavista cushioning anything more than 5.
Colonels are really getting their momentum going now, Bob. They look sharp. They look confident. Allen has it in the corner. He pitches it back out to Michi Malbeck, right wing. 33-28, Altavista on top. 3 minutes left to play in this quarter. Malbeck crossover dribble. Lost the handle momentarily, but he passed it out to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson picks it up. Overhead pass to Allen on the wing. Allen, 3-ball in. Walker Allen has hit some big ones this year. He just hit another big one, Bob. 36-28, Colonels lead.
Radford didn't get here by accident, though.
That's right. Jones going to the basket. He is fouled by Walker Allen. Allen and Jones having a little chit-chat about that one, and then some other people get in. Jones was out on the perimeter, and then he came back. The official's going to have to push him away.
I think Walker was just excited.
I agree.
I don't think it was, necessarily malicious, but, Jones in real danger right there because he went backwards.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised the officials let Jones get away with that. You're right. Walker was still fired up from the three-pointer he just hit, and then he fouled Nate Jones. Jones walked away. He was about 10 feet away from Walker Allen. Then he sort of started storming back towards him.
Well, Mike Carlero pulling Walker over to say, what are you doing?
You're right. He's not coming out.
Right.
He's just talking to Coach Carlero.
And honestly,
second foul on Walker.
And I'll be honest with you. I mean, even if there had been a double in that situation, I would not have been opposed. Just in terms of both guys, everybody was kind of getting a little wild right there.
Everybody's playing hard. You're right. Emotion sort of spilled over after the play. Nate Jones sinks the first free throw, 36-29. Colonel's still on top with 2:43 left to play here in the Apple Market third quarter.
And with as loud as this place is, I'm not sure how Jones heard him or somebody tipped him off or something because, I mean, Jones had his back turned and was walking away, but Walker got hyped. That's how I would say it. Navy comes in now for Walker.
Second free throw does go down for Nate Jones, making it a 36-30 Altavista lead. Jones broke long. Thornhill couldn't see him or either couldn't get to him. Now he gets it to Navy Jones right there at the free throw line, and Jones will get to bring it up with not much defensive pressure. Left-hand dribble by Canavis Jones.
I think the Radford crowd got back into it off that, too. I kind of think they were napping also.
Yeah, they had fallen into a little bit of a lull. I think it was all due to that Altavista momentum. Man-to-man defense again for Radford, and they look like they've changed a little bit. Michi driving right side of the paint. Hesitation, head fake. Oh, they're going to get Michi for a traveling violation. Must have dragged the foot. Michi can't believe it. I'm sort of going to have to agree with Mr. Malback on that one. I thought he kept the pivot foot pretty well planted, but it's a turnover. 36-30, Altavista leads, 22-23 left to play in the third.
YouTube is where you can go. Thanks to Fellers to hear the recaps of this one, Kyle, and I even said maybe post-game interviews in the media room, too, next week.
I think we'll get some bonus content on for this one. Since it is a state championship game, foul away from the basketball is going against the Radford Bobcats. This is going to send the basketball back to the Altavista Colonels. More momentum for Altavista.
I think it's against Phillips. And if it is, that's his third. Nope, that's on Cook.
Yep. Second team foul of the half for Radford. Altavista's got 4 team fouls. Maul back into the honors on the inbound. Throws it long, looking for Juan. Juan caught it, ran under it. Juan to the basket. Fouled and counts the basket. Juan Thornhill, what a play.
If I was Radford, I wish they had called the foul with Cook, because Cook got him with a little bit of a bump. That was not called, though, and now Altavista's pushed this lead out to 8.
I love the role reversal. Michi Malback being the quarterback and Juan Thornhill being the receiver. Michi throws it up high. Juan runs under it, and you're right. Juan took some contact as he caught it, went storming to the front of the rim for 2 points and fouled. 38-30, Altavista leading.
Very seldom do you see teams get upset about the fouls that aren't called, but if I was Radford, I really would be kind of steamed about that if you look at it retroactively.
Turnover. Thornhill got his hand on Nate Jones. He's dribbling. Richard Hubbard came away with the basketball.
Tell you, Radford's having that string go from the shirt and just pull it out because they are unraveling in this third quarter.
That's a great way to phrase it. Things are not going Radford's way. Colonels with a lot of momentum. Colonels have some more momentum. Demetrius Johnson was driving, and he was fouled by Nate Jones. Jones really clobbered him there, too. Hard right hand to the top of Demetrius' head. Shot wouldn't go in, but Demetrius will go to the free throw line. It's a 38-30 Altavista Colonel lead. 1:55 left to play in the Apple Market third quarter, Bob. And you know what they say, visit the Apple every day. What a great way to celebrate a state championship Saturday there at the Apple Market. First free throw a little short for Demetrius.
Well, if you told me this would get to a 8-point game at some point, I would have probably called you a lot of ugly names. I mean, Altavista in this third quarter has just really put their foot on the accelerator and not let off. I mean, you know.
Colonels have done this so much in the third quarter, though, haven't they, Bob? Free throw goes in 39-30.
I didn't even think about that. I thought that rule might get thrown out the window against Radford.
Yeah. Sometimes you never know. Radford basketball. 1:45 left to play in the third quarter. Phillips going to try a long three-pointer. Back iron. No good. Rebound controlled by Demetrius Johnson. Hands it off to Juan Thornhill.
Radford's got to be smart here. There's a $1:30 left in this quarter, and you don't want 9 to get a lot worse.
You don't want to be down double digits, that's for sure. Boy, Altavista's really gotten good on the glass, too, in this third quarter, Bob. Radford, a lot of one-and-dones now. Thornhill hesitation. Chest pass over to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson thought about a 3. He'll drive and set. Extra step. Now we're going to call that a travel. Coach Cardellaro smiling. He thought Demetrius was fouled, but turnover there. 39-30. Altavista still leads. 1:20 left to play in the third quarter. Radford basketball. Nate Jones will just walk it up, taking his time here, looking at the bench from Coach Cormany. Coach Cormany's sort of drawing up a play from the sideline. He was directing some traffic, telling some players where to go. Jones, hesitation. They tried to clear out to get Jones some room. Jump shot won't go in. Rebounded by Canavis Jones for Altavista.
It's a real good look from Nate Jones right there that he had Mike Cardellaro in the official's ear on the far side. And Juan is going to hold and might just hold for one with 50 seconds left.
Yep, he's 1 foot in front of the half-court line. If he doesn't have to do anything, he looked at the referee to check on a 5-second count. Juan driving, right-hand shot, a little short, wouldn't go in. Juan expected some contact and too soft of a touch on that one. Phillips throws up a wild one. Nate Jones grabs the rebound off the backboard and in. Phillips came down a little gimpy on the ankle there. It's a 39-32 Colonel lead. We're under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
I give Miano a ton of credit from Radford. I mean, he was a statue down there and was not going to move no matter what. And it almost seems like that got in Juan, like you said, Kyle, he was expecting contact.
Yeah, floated up there real soft with the right hand. Didn't have a bad look, but you're right, Miano. Nice defensive presence down low. We're down to 10 seconds. Juan wants to go now. 7-point Colonel lead. Spin move. Juan slashing right side of the paint. Won't go in. Rebound by Radford. They may have a chance at something here. They pitch it ahead to DeAndre Cook. Cook down low. Basket. Did it go in? Yes, it does go in. They counted. It was Anthony Miano right at the buzzer there for a layup. They will count that basket. 39-34. Colonels still lead, but the lead's been cut into a bit. Fourth quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com.
Now, back to the action on 105.5 KD Country.
Great third quarter of basketball there, Bob, particularly for the Altavista Colonels. They lead 39-35. That lead was as much as 9 at one point. Give Radford some credit there in that last minute, really clawing back in it.
39-34. It's a 5-point lead there, Kyle. And I give Radford a ton of credit, although I don't know how much credit I can give right there at the very last second. When Miano took that shot up, backboards were lit up. Ball looked like to me was still in his hand as I peered over to the video monitors that are down here, and it looked like the ball was still in his hand. But again, why was Miano not it's like nobody told him, hey, you got to get rid of that basketball, because it looked like he thought he had all the time in the world.
Yeah, Altavista, they ran their last second play, or whatever you want to call it. Thornhill driving to the basket at about 9 seconds. Shot went up at about 5, I think, Bob. It was no good. Radford collected the rebound. They traveled the entire 90 feet. And give the Bobcats a lot of credit for getting a bucket there, even though it looked like it probably should not have counted there as the buzzer was sounding.
You know why Altavista's having all the good luck today, right?
Talk to me.
The stat sheet cuts off after ALVIS. So, always good when you can bring an Alvis into it.
You can't have Altavista without Alvis.
No, you can't. 5-4. I've never actually thought of that till now. 5-4 Radford with the rebounding advantage in that quarter. Bobcats, though, 6 turnovers in the third quarter to Altavista's 1. And if you want to make a key of what changed in the third quarter, to me, that is your Kodak moment right there.
Yeah. Colonels tied at the end of the first quarter. They did not rebound well in that first quarter. They had the 1-point lead at halftime. They rebounded better in the second quarter. Now they have a 5-point lead, so they rebounded much, much better in the third quarter, and hopefully that trend continues for the Colonels.
Let's play the coaches game real quick. In the huddle, I'm sure Carlero said, let's be smart in this fourth quarter. We don't need to do anything in the last 8 minutes that are outlandish and give Radford a chance. And, Coach Cormning, let's be smart in this fourth quarter. We got to make 5 points up at least.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. 3 ball on the way from Radford. That was Finley. No good. Long rebound. Tracked down by Radford. No, they tried to save it in bounds. Give R.J. Jordan credit. He ran a long way to run down that long rebound, but he just could not keep it in, Bob.
Probably value the basketball also within the both talks, and especially Radford.
And I'll say this, we're obviously Altavista fans, but Radford not in a bad spot whatsoever, only trailing by 5, but I'd much rather be the team that's up 5.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind taking either group of athletes, as Radford, I think, is going to try some tricks of the trade here defensively and make Altavista speed it up even more than they want to.
Yeah, man-to-man defense right now. Michi Malbeck, free throw line, jump shot, no good. Nice rebound by Radford, controlled there by R.J. Jordan. 39-34, Colonels lead. 7.5 left to play in the basketball game. Apple Market fourth quarter.
I'm certainly not going to refuse a team that has Nate Jones on it.
That's right. Isaiah Phillips thought about a dead-on three-pointer, top of the key. He'll drive down instead. Right hand throws it up, a little wild, off balance. Rebound is loose, controlled by Demetrius Johnson. Good job there by the Colonels to weather the storm. Good job there by Thornhill to avoid committing a foul, because he did make some contact with Phillips when Phillips went up.
Rick Cormany throwing his hands up to say, I thought there was a foul too, Kyle Haney, and I don't know that you have an IFB in his ear, but he definitely thought there was some contact also.
Well, Bob, you and I have both said it. I mean, it's a situation where the officials are letting them play.
Yeah.
I mean, they have called their share of fouls. Don't get us wrong there. Altavista was in the bonus in the first half, so they've called some fouls, but they've also let some things go too. Malbeck driving, he'll back it out. 5-second count being administered. He broke it. Lob pass down low to Darius Johnson. Johnson lost the basketball. Turnover there. Ball is still loose. Both Johnson brothers diving after it. Jones collects it. Radford fans want a foul there as Darius bumped into Nate Jones.
Yeah, Darius sometimes is his own worst enemy in that backcourt, though.
Demetrius trying to run through a screen. Jones, left side, layup, goes in. Good job by Jones. Juan tried to help out on the help side defense. 39-36 should the scoreboard read. They have not put it up on the scoreboard just yet.
Yeah.
2 points for the Radford Bobcats. Darius driving, foul in the lane. They're going to get Zach Bradley. Bradley thought he had his feet set. Are they going to change it and say offensive foul now, Bob? Yes, they are. They are going to say offensive foul. Take that basket off the board for Darius Johnson. The official right there close said it was a blocking foul. I'll tell you, you look up at the scoreboard, they still have not changed the scoreboard just yet, Bob. 4 fouls on Darius Johnson. It should be a 39-36 Altavista lead.
30-second timeout as well.
We'll take the timeout with them. Colonels lead by 3. 6:06 left to play in the basketball game on 105.5 KD Country.
This is Paul Shelton, owner of Altavista Appliance and Furniture, and I want to introduce my grandson, Mitch Haley, who is my new store manager, to tell you about great things we have going for you, our valued customer.
Not only do we sell appliances and furniture, but we are an authorized Husqvarna dealer. We offer the full Husqvarna lineup, including mowers, blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, with 0% financing up to 48 months. We service everything we sell. Come by and see us today at Altavista Appliance and Furniture on 7th Street, where you will get the best deals with great service.
Your high school sports station, 105.5 KD Country.
39-36. Colonels lead by 3. They have changed the scoreboard now. 6:06 left to play in regulation.
Well,
Apple Market fourth quarter, Bob.
Yeah, don't go anywhere either because I'm not a gambling man, nor am I going to be the gambler here on the radio, but this one far from over. 6:06 left is an eternity. It's a 3-point lead from Altavista, but now Uncle Mo is going with Radford.
Interception. Juan Thornhill stepped in front of a baseball pass from Radford. Maybe Colonel's going to try and snatch some of that Mo back. If that momentum was firmly in the Colonel's court there in the third quarter.
And, you know, you can get away with that if that's sneaky, but that was nowhere near sneaky on Radford's part. Altavista had that read like a book.
Really telegraphed the long pass, too. Thornhill bounced pass to Darius Johnson. Johnson, fadeaway jumper goes in. How about Darius Johnson with the NBA-like move there from 17 feet?
And outside of his normal range.
Agreed. 41-36. Big shot for Darius Johnson, who is also playing with 4 fouls, Bob. He's got 14 points on the night. Radford basketball. Jordan going to try a 3-ball in front of Thornhill. Side of the iron. No good. Rebounded by Demetrius Johnson. Darius got his hands on it momentarily. Good job by Demetrius on the glass this second half, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. Both Johnson brothers have come to play. And now Altavista's going to, spread it a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Altavista wants to spread this court, run some clock. They lead 41-36. We're down to 5:05 left to play in the fourth quarter. Thornhill driving, took some contact, sidestepped the man. Shot went up and wouldn't go in, and they will blow the whistle. He is fouled. This is going to send the Dukes, number 2, Juan Thornhill, to the free throw line with 5:05 to play. 41-36, Colonel's lead.
15 foul against the Bobcats, I believe. Board shows 4th, but that is a foul on Nate Jones. His third.
They just changed it, and we've seen that board act a little funny tonight. They finally did add those 2 points for Radford there. Substitutes checking in the ball game. It's been 2 guys that played some really good minutes. Navy Jones and Walker Allen. Malbeck and Darius Johnson come out.
Walker Allen right next to Nate Jones in the rebounding block, and we saw those 2 have some extracurriculars early on. But again, I'm going to play that off to 2 good hard competitors. Another good hard competitor I see in the crowd, former broadcast colleague here, Delano Douglas.
That's right. Delano on board. Thornhill missed the free throw. Converts 1 of 2. Double team. Jones going to just dribble his way out of it. 5 minutes left to go now in the fourth quarter. I see Eric Poindexter behind us. He was a member of that state championship club last year. 3-ball away from Radford. No good. Great rebound by Richard Hubbard to time up the rebound and see that it was going to be an air ball off the mark. 42-36. Colonel's lead. 4:40 left to play in the Apple Market fourth quarter.
One of the smallest guys on the floor affected that shot. Navy Jones got out there. Well, quiet whistle.
Yeah.
As Navy's going to get fouled. That's the 6th foul against the Bobcats as a team.
Yeah, the way Bradley went after Navy Jones there, Bob, on the foul, it almost looked like the old intentional foul. I don't know if Coach Cormany's going to that early or not. Maybe he thinks it's not too early to go to it. 4:40 left to play.
I think it also depends on who the ball handler is at the time. I don't know if it was intentional, though, because I don't think you'd want Bradley to waste a 4th doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Malbeck, Thornhill, the Johnsons, and Richard Hubbard. So the original 5 on the floor for Altavista.
Michi looking inbound. Thought about the lob play to Juan Thornhill. Now basketball tipped away. It's going to end up in the hands of Nate Jones of Radford. Turnover there by the Colonels. 42-36. Altavista leads. 4.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Nate Jones with the basketball. Left wing. Chest pass over to Bradley, who stepped out. 5 guys along the perimeter now for Radford. Phillips driving, jump stop, puts it up, may have taken an extra step. They're going to say he was fouled. Instead, shot wouldn't go down. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
On Demetrius, I believe. And that's only his first. I'll tell you, I think both sides have been getting benefits tonight at certain times, and the other side's like, why are we not getting that call when that was the right call?
Yeah.
Phillips at the line for 2.
I think everybody will agree, coaches, officials, us, tough game to officiate for sure. I mean, you say, oh, the pressure's on the players. No, there's a lot of pressure on an official at this stage. You get in the big arena, a lot of fans on you, a lot of eyes on you. And let's face it, these two teams move pretty quickly. Second free throw, no good. Looks like it went off Demetrius Johnson. They're going to say it's off Nate Jones. Basketball going to go back to Altavista.
You got to keep in mind, too, and this is the one qualm I have about the way Virginia High School League does these. You're putting 3 different guys from 3 different associations together.
Thornhill catches right sideline. He'll bring it up. Middle of the court now. He's attacking. 2-on-1. Juan lost the ball from behind. It was poked away by, I believe, Marcus Finley.
But I love Cardallero and Carmody, and I think that they want every single call, too, at the same time.
42-37.
The great ones do.
Yep. 4 minutes left to play here in the Apple Market fourth quarter. Jones catches top of the key. 19-foot jump shot on the way. No good. Rebounded by Darius Johnson. Darius got poked a little bit. Held onto the basketball. Richard Hubbard weaving his way in out of traffic. Bounce pass to Demetrius. Demetrius, scoop layup goes down, and he took some contact. Altavista, 44-37. First bucket in a while for the Colonels. We're down to 3:40 left to play in the game.
There was contact about 6 different times going down the court, too.
Yeah, it's probably pointless for me to even say that anymore, that a guy took some contact. Foul there, and it's going to send DeAndre Cook to the free throw line for Radford. 1-on-1 situation. 17th foul on the Altavista Colonels. It's the second one on Michi Malbeck. Michi's got 5 points to go along with the 2 fouls.
And, I brought up the point of not officiating with guys you're used to. I kind of think that messes with you a little bit subconsciously, even if you wouldn't admit it.
Yeah, gets you out of your comfort zone for sure. Free throw goes in for the left-handed shooting DeAndre Cook, a 5'10 senior for the Radford Bobcats.
Because, the guys that work together all the time, they're like, oh, I'm sure he's going to get that call. He's down there. But you can't count on that when it's people you don't know.
We always said different associations emphasize different things. Some places you can get away with a hand check. Some places you can't. Some places you can battle down low in the post like the Johnson brothers like to do. Some places you can't. Second free throw on the way for DeAndre Cook. Goes down, nothing but net. 44-39 Colonels lead now.
And if Coach Cardellero's former suite mate is listening, even though I think he's here, Mark Hanks, he always said he loved a good old physical game. So this is right in his wheelhouse.
3:39 left to play in regulation. Malbeck bounce pass, gets it into Darius Johnson. Johnson double team momentarily. Colonels have used up about 4 or 5 seconds in the backcourt. Here comes Michi Malbeck. He will break the timeline. Get the Colonels out of that danger. Turns around, 3.5 left to play. 44-39, Altavista leading.
I'm really surprised Radford didn't jack the pressure up in the backcourt. Darius wasted time just because the defense was so good on him, and then they got it to Michi, and Michi really had no problem getting in the front court.
Michi checking the official to see about the 5-second count. Now he calls it. Michi breaks it. 44-39. Altavista Colonels are 3:05 away from a back-to-back state championship.
Mike Cardallero, timeout.
Coach C wants to call timeout. Let's take it with him. Colonels lead 44-39. 3:05 left to play in the Apple Market fourth quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for more than 30 years. For free consultations for personal injury cases, call 369-6621. 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels basketball team on their successful season. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
GMC Certified Service, Highview Motors, state inspections, transmission repair, tire sales, Highview Motors. If your ride has been in an accident, Highview Motors has the latest collision repair center and body shop. Drive-on frame machine, down-drive paint booth with baking oven, GMC and ASE certified technicians. Great selection of professional-grade GMC trucks and pre-owned cars. Highview Motors, Main Street, Altavista.
Highview Motors, GMC.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
1A state championship action from the Siegel Center on the campus of VCU in Richmond. I'm Kyle Haney. He's Bob Alvis. 44-39. The Altavista Colonels clinging to the 5-point lead, Mr. Alvis. We got 3:05 left to play. This is really what you play for right here.
Yeah, we talked about it. Somebody's getting the back-to-back no matter what.
Yeah.
In this game. Radford won the 2A last year. Altavista won the 1A.
Altavista's really had to work hard to get the basketball in bounds. They do get it in bounds from the sideline there. Thornhill catches in the backcourt from Michi Malbeck. Thornhill going to get a soft double team here. He'll pass his way out of it to Richard Hubbard. Hubbard catches middle of the court. Now he'll just send it back to Juan Thornhill. Colonels, they don't do it as much as they used to, Bob, but, they've always been very good at milking the clock, spreading the court, running time down, and I think that's what Coach C's got in mind right here.
They can put it in the freezer when need be.
Yep. Michi got up in the air a little bit, found Demetrius Johnson at the free throw line. Turnover, though. Demetrius was looking for brother Darius down low. Phillips caught it. Radford wants to take a timeout. We'll take 30 seconds of this one with them as well. Same score, 44-39. Altavista Colonels lead. 2:35 left to play in the fourth quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated, is Virginia's premier Thomas Belt bus dealer. Sonny Merriman has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for more than 45 years. Sonny Merriman is recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction. Sonny Merriman wishes to recognize the Altavista Colonels basketball teams on their outstanding season, and good luck in tournament play.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
44-39, Colonels lead. The Altavista Colonels have made a nice home away from home here at the Siegel Center in recent years, Bob. But then again, so have the Radford Bobcats. State championships in 2009, 2011, 2013, all at the 2A level. They've dropped down to 1A now.
Can't sleep on what's going on down there in Radford. A very good squad, and I think now is the time they probably need to make the charge, and I think that's why Coach Gormley burned that time out.
Throw it to Jones, left-hand post, puts it up, he's fouled, count the basket. Foul's going to go against Demetrius Johnson. Jones letting out a big roar for the Radford Bobcats. You never can count a good team out. You cannot count Radford out today in this one, Bob. 44-41, and Jones got a chance to cut into the lead even more from the free throw line.
That's Demetrius' second, and I don't know if I can pick up my Nate Jones fan club card before I leave, but I'm definitely a fan. The kid has got some game.
21 points in the night. Free throw no good. His point total will stay at 21. Radford's will stay at 41. Boy, put it in perspective right there, really. He's got over half his team's points right now. Thornhill, right sideline, dribble, bounce pass, top of the key to Demetrius Johnson. Johnson driving, puts up the layup, won't go in. Rebound is loose. Demetrius Johnson got his own rebound. Finds Richard Hubbard across the baseline there. Hubbard throws it back out to Michi Malbeck. Hubbard going to run some time, poked away. Turnover right there. He was looking for Darius Johnson down low. Good job by the Bobcats getting the passing lane. Radford's entire crowd on their feet, Bob. Under 2 minutes to go. Bobcats trail by 3.
And you mentioned Jones having over half the points. It's not like he's playing with a group of slouches either. He's just been the man today.
That's exactly right. He's really doing battle down low against Demetrius Johnson. Darius Johnson had to step over his man to get a steal. Pitches ahead to Malbeck. Malbeck, basketball got knocked out of bounds. Malbeck went up for the layup. He could have sworn there was a foul there. It will stay to the Altavista Colonels.
Give Radford credit defensively for getting back on that play.
Absolutely.
Richard Hubbard telling Michi, we got to go back on the other end. 98 seconds left.
It was a 3-on-0 for a moment there that the Altavista Colonels had, but you're right. Radford recovered well. Finley swatted it away from Michi Malbeck. Michi looking to do the inbounding honors. Throws it up top to Darius Johnson. Johnson catches right in front of us. 44-41. Altavista leads. 90 seconds left to play here in the fourth quarter.
Darius in a world of trouble. Finds Demetrius.
Nice
who
look.
finds Richard.
Hubbard converts the layup. Altavista just sucked the Radford defense out to the perimeter. There was nobody down low to stop Richard Hubbard. Hubbard got in behind the defense, 46-41. Colonel stretch out the lead.
I don't want to say that's dagger, but that was a big bucket.
Got to hunker down and play defense here and protect this 5-point lead or try and extend the 5-point lead. 1:05 left to play in the basketball game. Radford looks a little frustrated right now, just holding on to the basketball. Jordan going to drive. He's cut off. Pitches out top of the key to Bradley. Bradley finds Phillips. Phillips crossover dribble. Working on Thornhill. Layup goes up. Won't go in. Put back won't go in. Thornhill grabs the rebound for the Altavista Colonels. Down to 50 seconds. Let's see if Radford fouls. They're down 5. Colonels lead 46-41.
They got to get the ball across midcourt.
Hubbard saw that they had to get the ball across midcourt. He went in a hurry, and he is fouled. I don't think it was intentional by R.J. Jordan. He was trying to swipe the basketball away. Coach Cardellaro telling everybody just to simmer down just a little bit. Still 44.6 left to play, Bob. Hubbard will go to the free throw line and shoot a 1-and-1.
It was intentional in my eyes. I mean, it was intentional but not intentional. It was intentional to stop the clock. Yeah, you know me, Kyle. I'm a bigger fan of letting them get the ball across midcourt before you foul it. There will be a timeout, but we will keep it here.
Full 1-minute timeout, so Bob and I will get a chance and tell you about some other things as well in this basketball game. Yeah, I mean, the 10-second count in the backcourt was running down. That's why I just questioned if maybe Radford wanted to try and hunker down and play defense for that last second or two. But it's always easy to say that from over here on our end. We're sitting at the media table.
We haven't lost the game all year. Radford made that motion, though, where Jordan just kind of came in with a swipe, which gave it away to me that it was probably looked to be intentional. I'll tell you what, if you look back at this game, third quarter, Altavista only outscored Radford 20-16, which might not seem like a lot, but the Bobcats turned it over 6 times, and that was key. Because that's 6 times Radford doesn't have the ball for one. So Altavista really, third quarter, I think if they're able to hold on, is probably the big win.
I love the defensive effort there by the Colonels on that last trip down for Radford, Bob. Radford got 2 pretty close looks at it. Thornhill comes away with a big rebound, snatching it out of the hands, really, of a Bobcat offensive player. 46-41, the Altavista Colonels lead.
Well, if Altavista can turn this into a free throw shooting contest and, go at least 50%, maybe 2 out of 2 on some of them, they should be okay. Richard Hubbard, the senior, is at the line now for 1-and-1. But I'll tell you what, Radford has not made this easy whatsoever. All the credit in the world, in my opinion, goes to Coach Cormany and the Bobcats, too.
Colonels were up as much as 9 at one point in the third quarter, Bob. It was tied at the end of the first quarter. Colonels led 1 at halftime. Here comes Hubbard's first free throw. It's short, no good. Rebounded by Zach Bradley, and Radford stays at a 5-point lead for Altavista. 46-41. We got 40 seconds left to play.
Radford's going to the line on any foul. Altavista commits, too.
Radford's got everybody on the perimeter running the motion offense. They want to set up the 3. Here it comes. 3 ball on the way. No good. Rebound comes down to Nate Jones for the Bobcats. Puts it up for 2. He tried to draw some contact, and he did. Demetrius Johnson helps him up. Shot didn't go in, but I think they're going to whistle Demetrius with his 3rd foul.
Demetrius entered this quarter with 0 in the foul column. He's picked up 3. Brother Darius with 4. Juan and Michi each have a pair. Richard Hubbard has not committed an infraction. And if you're Nate Jones right here, you make them both. I mean, you don't even get into missing intentionally yet.
Don't fool with that just yet. 27.6 seconds left. He missed the first one. 46-41. Altavista leads. 27.6 seconds left to go in regulation here from the Siegel Center in Richmond.
I think the Fowler checked in, too. Miano has 0 fouls. He comes in for Radford, so look for him to probably commit the infraction.
Good point, Bob. Colonels really have to box out here on any shot that goes up for Radford. Second free throw does go down. Nothing but net. 46-42. Altavista's lead has been cut to 4. Colonels need to get it inbound safely. Thornhill gets it in the corner to Darius Johnson. He is fouled by your man right there, Bob Alvis. Anthony Miano, good call. Commits the intentional foul. It'll send Darius Johnson to the free throw line. 1-on-1 situation still for the Colonels. Just the 18th foul on the Radford Bobcats. And didn't take much time off the clock either.
And I'll tell you what, give Radford credit for committing that foul so quick in the backcourt. I often talk about, you don't want to give away fouls 7, 8, and 9 because you don't want them to become 2-shot fouls. 1-and-1 for Darius.
Johnson at the free throw line. First one on the way. It's going to be the only one. No good. Rebound by Radford. Colonels 0 for 2 in their last free throws. They throw it ahead quickly to Phillips. Phillips has to save it. Nate Jones ended up with it after the deflection. Jones puts it up off the window and in. It's a 2-point basketball game now. Timeout on the court for Radford. Let's keep it here again. It's a 46-44 Altavista Colonel lead. 18.3 seconds left to go in the Apple Market fourth quarter, Bob.
Got to hit a free throw now because you know it's going to be coming. You know it's probably going to be coming right away again as Radford turns it into a full 1-minute timeout. Altavista's kind of gotten a little cold. Two straight free throws have gone off the mark. But give Radford credit, too, because they've come down and answered with 2 baskets. Nate Jones has been the man on both, took it to the hole one time and got fouled by Demetrius and went 1 out of 2. But I told you, Kyle Haney, use your line about the seat because I don't even think you need chairs at this point.
No, you don't even need chairs in this arena right now. $10 gets you the whole seat here at the Siegel Center in Richmond, but you will only need the edge of it.
And it's even worth the parking.
Action. Yeah. 46-44. Colonels lead by 2, and it has become a free throw shooting contest, Bob. 18.3 seconds left in the ball game, in regulation anyway.
Yeah, I love the regulation line right there. And, you know, one thing you got to watch, I think, if you're Altavista, too, look who's inbound in the basketball. It's Michi Malbeck. Juan Thornhill has been known to break long, and now might be, you know, I know you've gone to that well once, but that well, to me, is a good well to try to go to. It depends on where Altavista's inbounding, though.
Yep. On the court right now for the
Inbounding
Altavista Colonels. They got to go the full length of the court, 90 feet, if they wanted to try and score. I'm not sure they do want to try and score, although they'd certainly take an open layup for sure. Malbeck pitches across the baseline to Thornhill. They throw it long to Michi Malbeck. Great play right there. Malbeck, layup, count the basket on the little trickeration play there by the Colonels. Thornhill ran out of bounds. He got the pass out of bounds from Michi Malbeck. 3-ball away from Radford. Too strong. They get their own rebound. Stick it up. No good. Thornhill grabs the rebound, and he is fouled. The Altavista Colonels are going to win back-to-back state championships, Bob Alvis. They do have to finish this last 3.3 seconds left. Look at the Colonel crowd going crazy right there. What a play. What a pass by Juan Thornhill to find Michi Malbeck all alone there, streaking into the front court. Michi deposited the layup. It's a 4-point lead for the Altavista Colonels. Thornhill can stretch the lead out here from the free throw line, and I'm sure Coach Cardellaro would prefer that.
I called it, but it just wasn't the way I really drew it up. But an excellent play. We don't talk about that enough. Michi ran out. Juan ran over to the baseline, got the pass. Then he made the pass to Michi. So the old flea flicker.
Yep, and Juan caught it out of bounds. It's legal to do. You can pass it to a teammate out of bounds along that baseline over there.
Bucket.
Free throw goes in for Juan Thornhill. He got the crowd pumped up right before the second free throw. Here it is on the way. Back iron, no good. Rebound is loose. Comes down to Radford. Bobcats won't even get up a buzzer beater. The Altavista Colonels. Juan Thornhill doing front flips on the basketball court for Altavista. They win 49-44. Back-to-back state championships for the Altavista Colonels. Timeout here. Subway post-game show going to turn into a Subway celebration show. Don't change that dial. You got it tuned to 105.5 KD Country.
Have you looked at your business banking fees lately? I'm Sean Stone with First National Bank, and we have the best business accounts which offer serious savings for your company. We have a full menu of business products from checking accounts and remote deposit capture to online banking. And we have a local merchant card representative who will customize services just for your business. So let First National Bank prepare an analysis of your current activity and show how we will reduce your banking fees. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway celebration show is on here from the Siegel Center in Richmond on 105.5 KD Country or KDCountry.com. Your home for Colonel Sports for 52 years, Bob Alvis. Every single second of the action you heard live on 105.5 this year. This isn't some fly-by-night operation. I'll tell you what, the Colonels certainly are not either. Back-to-back state titles. They are your 2013-2014 1A state champs in boys basketball.
Tip of the hat, though, to Radford, because, you know, this was a great game, and to have great games, you need two teams to be part of it. And Radford definitely gave the Colonels all they wanted and then some, but at the end, What a play. And
Yeah.
Chad Ward's probably going to come over here in the postgame in a few moments, but what a play at the end. What a play.
Amazing stuff there at the end. The Colonel's lead was getting cut into down the stretch. They were missing free throws. I don't want to say that they were frustrated and didn't have any answers, but it wasn't very comfortable over there on that Colonel's sideline, was it, Bob? And then the play comes out there. Michi Malbeck starts out with the basketball, inbounding on the baseline underneath. Colonels had to go the entire length of the court. Well, they did that in a hurry. Michi Malbeck ran to the left, passed it out of bounds to Juan Thornhill, who came out of bounds, caught the pass. Juan collected it, threw the old fade route to Michi going down the sideline there. Michi caught it, went up for the layup and 2. That stretched the lead out to 4 points, and it took some time off the clock. By the time Radford got the basketball back, wasn't much they could do, Bob.
No, it really wasn't, and I tell you, like I said, you got to tip your hat to both squads. Altavista, I tell you, this hardware stuff is becoming. Dean Hubbard might need to get a new case.
Yeah, no kidding. This time last year, the Colonels won a state championship on this court. Won one in Salem this year in football. Coach Mike Sharn is sitting right behind us right now. I got a feeling he's cheering as loud as anybody right now. And then another one here today. Wow. Sometimes all you can say is, wow. Let's take another timeout. We'll bring it all back. Subway postgame show returns. Colonels, state champs, 49-44 over the Radford Bobcats on 105.5 KD Country.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant. So we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today, El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
English is so much more. English is more than a hardware store. English's is your complete home center. Everything for every job you do. Always here for you. Get the quality you really need at English's. So much more. English is more than a hardware store. English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista, open Saturday 8 to 4. In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Now, back to the action on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show. The Altavista Colonels players out there collecting their state championship medals, and boy, fun times here. It's I don't know. I think Colonel fans have been getting used to these big games, Bob, but you never really get used to this as a player or a coach, this feeling of excitement that you have right now. State championship for the Altavista Colonels.
Yeah, a good moment as Richard Hubbard gets to hug his father, Dean, with the medal. And, you know, one thing you can never get enough of is Subway. They do the post-game show for us, 2 locations right there on Main Street and on Clarion Road inside the Walmart, and get you a celebration sub
Hey, there
on the
you
way
go,
home
Bob.
tonight. Colonels definitely, tell you, that sign-changing deal is going to have to... That's some work, because the sign's going to have to change again.
Yeah, I got a feeling Dean Hubbard, the athletic director for Altavista, he's got the sign company on speed dial at this point, or at least it's a yearly contract or something anyway. Colonels get the win here, 49-44. Coach Carlero collecting the state championship plaque there and shows it to the crowd. Another timeout, we'll recap the basketball game, give you some stats, all that, so much more. Altavista, 1A, state champions for 2014 VHSL basketball. You heard every second of the Colonels season live on 105.5 KD Country.
This month's specials from your Apple Market convenience stores. Coke and Pepsi 6-pack cans at $1.99. Free bacon biscuit with the purchase of 2 Mountain Dew Kickstarts. Double-decker Moon Pie for $1 with the purchase of any size coffee. Enjoy 2 chicken tender biscuits for $2.49 at the Apple Market locations. Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street, Altavista. You know what they say. Stop by the Apple today.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com.
This is Paul Shelton, owner of Altavista Appliance and Furniture, and I want to introduce my grandson, Mitch Haley, who is my new store manager, to tell you about great things we have going for you, our valued customers.
Check out our low prices. All living room suites are on sale. Plus, we have a large selection of recliners, accent rugs, end tables, and lamps. Our appliance department features name brands like Frigidaire, Speed Queen, Maytag, Whirlpool, and Amana. Come check us out today, where you'll find the best deals with great service at Altavista Appliance and Furniture on 7th Street, right in front of the First National Bank.
Now, back to the action on 105.5 KD Country.
49-44, the Altavista Colonels win. Finish the season with another state championship, Bob Alvis. And, man, what a basketball game. I think you summed it up perfectly there in the early part of the Subway post-game show. Got to have a good dance partner.
Yep.
Radford was game and ready, to say the least. Colonels finished this season, by our count, 23-3 with another state championship to go along with the 1-0-4 and the one last year.
Altavista's only lost to two teams, and one of those two teams that they lost to has their chance tonight to capture a state title when Bruden and Dan River go head-to-head. I'll tell you, Kyle, I saw Dan River last week play against Brunswick down there at the Salem Civic Center. How many times have we seen the Wildcats play under Coach Cruz or Coach Murphy? Best I'd ever seen them play collectively as a team. I thought the effort was superb, and, I would definitely have to consider Dan River to be a favorite tonight. I mean, you've worked to this point, and I don't think we talk about this enough for Altavista and Radford. You worked to this point to get to this point because no matter what, there are only two teams in 1A still playing today.
Yep.
And you were one of them. And, I mean, Radford should not take this at all as a, downer on the season at all. I mean, the Bobcats, I think, will definitely be back if they can keep the core intact. I mean, they lose DeAndre Cook. We saw him today. R.J. Jordan ran the point. We saw him. They'll lose Isaiah Phillips and Zach Bradley. But when you're bringing back 6'4", Nate Jones, I like your chances of still punching next year.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Marcus Finley back for them, too. I have a sneaking suspicion that we have not seen the last of the Radford Bobcats on the basketball court anyway. Good time to transition and talk about the Altavista Colonel seniors, Bob. I guess you got to start first and foremost with Richard Hubbard. Boy, he not his highest scoring output of the year so far here tonight, and he missed that free throw down the stretch that I know he wanted to make. But, man, come on. What did Richard do wrong this year? Outstanding defense, rebounding, knocked down some big shots, had a knack for really hitting that big three ball. Richard was really the floor leader out there. He could run the point when you needed him to. And Chandler Pribble, they threw the old net that they cut down over Chandler Pribble's neck, as he was walking away. So the guys really love Chandler. And Chandler got in some valuable minutes this year. He's never afraid to mix it up and bang around on somebody down there in the low post.
No, certainly not. And, great career for those guys. And, even the guys like, you mentioned Chandler doesn't see as much court time. But I have a feeling that Darius and Demetrius are not given just a red cape to, lower their head and go through during practice. Chandler Pribble and guys like that, we didn't see as much of Nelson Deuce as we have seen, or Destin Brown or people like that. But they're working these guys in the practices as well. And, games are won just as much there, too.
Well, I think Coach Carlero going to be the first to admit that. They get after the guys in practice. The guys practice hard. And, it's a year-round process, too. And I think Coach C would point out, that's probably the main reason why we're good is our effort in practice. The effort here today in the game was pretty good, Bob Alvis. The Colonels get the win, 49-44 over the Radford Bobcats. Another state championship coming to Altavista. Throw that one in the hardware case. Another timeout here on the Subway post-game show, Subway celebration show. We'll bring it all back, talk about some Subway, talk about the basketball game here today. Hopefully Coach Chad Ward going to make his way over. I'm sure there's a wild party going on in that locker room, though. That's not a engagement that he wants to leave anytime soon. But we'll do our best to get a member of the Colonel's staff on here. And you'll hear it all after this timeout on the Subway postgame show on 105.5 KD Country.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for more than 30 years. For free consultations for personal injury cases, call 369-6621. 369-6621. David W. Shreve congratulates the Colonels basketball team on their successful season. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista.
GMC Certified Service, Highview Motors, state inspections, transmission repair, tire sales, Highview Motors. If your ride has been in an accident, Highview Motors has the latest collision repair center and body shop. Drive-on frame machine, down-drive paint booth with baking oven, GMC and ASE certified technicians. Great selection of professional-grade GMC trucks and pre-owned cars. Highview Motors, Main Street, Altavista.
Highview Motors, GMC.
Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated, is Virginia's premier Thomas Belt bus dealer. Sonny Merriman has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for more than 45 years. Sonny Merriman is recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction. Sonny Merriman wishes to recognize the Altavista Colonels basketball teams on their outstanding season, and good luck in tournament play.
Hi, I'm Tracy Robinson of First National Bank. Did you know there are great home mortgage opportunities available right now? With rates being at an all-time low and 100% financing, our recognized mortgage lenders will deliver the right loan for your needs. Put this together with our other progressive mortgage products, our fast local service, and we're ready to lend. First National Bank, over 100 years of dependable custom banking. For you and your money, that's important. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your high school sports station, 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis is back with the coach, Chad Ward. I'm sure you hate to leave the celebration going on. Does this ever, second one in as many years, talk about, I assume this one's just as special as that one was.
It might be a little bit sweeter. The first time around is always a good feeling, but to know that we came in and won a tough ball game against another defending state champion. This can only happen when they revamp the system and you match up two state champions from the previous year. So knocking off Radford right now is a little bit sweeter in West Point.
Yeah, and I thought the game was really back and forth the whole way. You guys got a little cold from the free throw line there towards the end, which really made it exciting. But take it you guys don't like that type of excitement.
Well,
let's talk about the last play, though. Let's transition that because, last play drawn up, I thought, to a T. It kind of was surprising. I called it. I thought Juan would be the one to go long and Michi would throw it, but kind of the old flea flicker.
That's a play that Coach C has had in his back pocket and his repertoire for probably about 15 to 20 years. And we were talking about we're going to see a lot of press, a lot of diamond, a lot of man, maybe some 2-2-1, and we knew we had to have multiple looks against them in their pressure. And that's one of those plays that you really only get away with it once. And it's a double throw in, and we told the referees, it's almost a sucker play. If Juan's man follows him out of bounds, it's automatic technical.
Right. So, it worked.
But, we got a quarterback throwing to a wide receiver, so that helps too.
Well, the third quarter, again, the third quarter theme kicks in. And really it wasn't so much that you guys outscored them, but they turned it over 6 times in the third quarter. And that's 6 less times that they have the ball, in my opinion. Talk about what happened in the third.
I feel that our defense was better. I'll just go ahead and say it. We came out, we dug our heels in. We're a man-to-man team. Radford's a man-to-man team as well, but they played us in a 2-3 because I don't think that they were able to guard the Twins, and you saw that when they played Surrey. They went 2-3 a couple times, and they're not a team that ever does that. And I think Cormany actually made the comment to one of the reporters from the Roanoke Times that we might have to go to that next week. And we just turned up the intensity. Navy came off the bench and gave us great defensive intensity. Michi, Richard won, the twins. Darius had to be careful. He was in foul trouble there that whole fourth quarter. He got a couple cheap ones. But, I think our defensive intensity really got after him. And I don't think Radford's been guarded that way all year.
How much were you guys worried about Jones? He finishes with 24 and 10, 10 of 15 from the floor. That kid's a player.
He is an incredible player. But he wasn't going to beat us by himself.
Right.
And, he was an incredible player. And Demetrius, even though he scored as much as he did, we put Demetrius on him from the get-go. We told him last week, Demetrius, you got Jones. And, we let him read the little article in the paper from the Roanoke Times about the Jones family and how he's such a great basketball player. And I think we added a little fuel to the fire there for the guys to come out and get after Jones a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you said he's an outstanding player. You guys have some as well. Let's talk about one other thing that didn't start off on the right foot, and that was the effort on the glass. Was there some fire and brimstone at halftime about that? I
was ready to strangle one of the twins. It was mostly offensive rebounds. Right. Phillips is one of the best players I've seen in recent years with a nose to go get the ball on the glass. Jones is an incredible rebounder as well, but Phillips really just has that nose for going and getting it, and he got the little stick-back dunk there. And, we had said that coming in, whoever wins on the glass is probably going to take this game. I haven't had a chance to look at final numbers.
Well, you lost 32-30, but,
Close enough.
Yeah, it got better. It got better each quarter. You got in the hole the first quarter by 11-6, so you're out-rebounded by 5. Then it became you guys got in front of them at half, 19-18. Then you guys were out-rebounding them 39 – or no, I'm sorry, I'm reading wrong margin. You guys cut the rebounding deficit each quarter, though.
Well, and we really got hammered in that first quarter, and we told the guys, if you're going to win, that's what we got to do. We got to get on the glass.
Final thing, obviously 2 is nice, 3 is really sweet. How much of it is can you get these guys hungry to get back here?
Well, that was one of the things that Coach said. I was in the locker room for a minute before I came out here. He said, good teams can win it once, great teams can win it twice, and legendary teams can three-peat.
Right.
And we've got the back-to-back part, and we got a bright outlook for next year.
Well, and they're young enough, too, to where you could see them again. And, I guarantee that they could remember. Because, Finley just didn't shoot the ball very well today.
They returned Finley and Jones, but they do lose Phillips. They lose Bradley. I think they lose about 5 of their top 8 or 9.
Well,
so
I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them next year come out of the West, but I do not think they're going to be as strong as they were this year.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe this will be fuel for the fire for them.
Obviously, I hope you guys do well, but definitely, interviewing Coach Cormany this week, and I'll let you know this before I let you do your shout-outs and get out of here. Interviewing Coach Cormany was almost like interviewing Coach Carlero. They were like 2 in the same.
They are 2 excellent, headstrong coaches.
That's very politically correct and a nice thing to say. You'll go on to the baseball season now. We wish you best of luck. And before you get out, I always let you shout out, too.
Shout out to my dad and my mom who are watching in Altavista, my grandmother, my 2 boys, Nolan and Jude, and my wife who could not get off work today because various reasons. But
well, and a shout out to the 6th man. I thought the crowd was good.
I was worried that Radford might come and show us up on the crowd aspect, but Altavista came out to support us today. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, and Coach, thank you for all year. Maybe next year we'll start this a little earlier and get post-game thoughts a lot. But definitely thank you. Best of luck with baseball.
Thank you.
That's Chad Ward. Kyle and I are going to wrap it up as Kyle will make his way back. And just looking at final numbers, Radford did not shoot the ball great. Altavista wasn't exactly, Picasso from the shooting side either. But Kyle, 24 and 10 for Nate Jones. That's going to be my player of the game, unless you take umbrage with that.
Oh, for Radford, I think you got to go with Nate Jones. Like we said, he had over half his team's points, and he was a monster. And like you said, it's not like he didn't have a supporting cast around him, so to still pour it in at that pace, pretty impressive.
Altavista, it's tough. Michi had 7, Juan and Demetrius each with 9, Darius with 14, Hubbard with 4, and Walker Allen with 6. I got to go maybe a Michi-Juan combo just because of the last play of the game.
Yeah, no kidding. The last play of the game, I like that combo. I'm just going to go Juan Thornhill. I mean, the complete game again, on the glass, defensively, scoring. Had the big jam that really fired everybody up. Remember, he had that one rejection in the first half there that he sent out of bounds that got everybody fired up. Anytime Juan steps on the court, on the field, I'm sure he's the same way at the checkers table or the chess table. He's just an animal. Not at all. He's just an animal. He's a competitor. And, man, Colonel's, the entire team played well. I mean, the starters played fantastic. Got great bench play. Walker Allen hit the big three there. Navy Jones with some incredible defense. Nelson Dews, not a lot of minutes, but when he was out there, it was quality time. And it was a team effort for Altavista, top to bottom.
Yeah, before we get out and you read the sponsors off, definitely they've been the stars of the show. I just want to, take this opportunity to thank you and the entire staff at WKD for making this season one of the best. I didn't know how much I was going to be. I thought you were going to be saddled with Briggs for a while longer, but I came back. And, definitely credit to Mike McCall and the VHSL. They really take care of us with the stats and everything. And a big thank you to Rick Cormney and all the opposing coaches that did interviews with us this year. Obviously we work for the Altavista station, but we try to present, a side that all fans can listen to and enjoy. So a big thank you to all of them as well.
Yeah, it's always a fun time here on KD Country. 52 years of high school sports, and like you said, it's not no man is an island. Right. We couldn't do it without a lot of help. Lee Cameron back at home base, outstanding work all season, and he really jumped in when we needed somebody and just took off with flying colors. Oscar Briggs, Agent Zero, he's out there somewhere. He might be listening. He may have to go back and hear it on YouTube, but he's going to hear this at some point. And Oscar did outstanding stuff all year long. We couldn't have done it without Oscar. Couldn't have done it without Bob Alvis. And, again, like Bob said, the sponsors, we couldn't do it without them. We wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for folks like First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Sonny Merriman, we are Virginia's bus company. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. David W. Shreve, attorney at law. If you're facing a legal matter, don't do it alone. Altavista Appliance and Furniture, best prices, great service. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's never an overtime charge. Call Donnie today. Apple Markets, check out the weekly specials at all 3 Altavista area locations. Finch & Finch, Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English is your complete home center. So much more than a hardware store. Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, the happiest place in town. This is the Subway post-game show. Eat fresh. So much good stuff going on at Subway. We don't hardly have time to tell you about all of it. Just drop in there today and take a gander at that menu, and you'll love what you find. You'll love the customer service even more. I mentioned the YouTube rebroadcast. Get there from kdcountry.com. That's brought to you by Feller Chevrolet. You can hear this and every Colonel's game, girls and guys, football and basketball, any other Colonel's game we might do for that matter, will be on our YouTube page there. So much more to find on that KD Country YouTube page as well. Walmart on the Clarion Road in Altavista brings you our streaming internet broadcast there. So if you listened in Surfside, like maybe Oscar Briggs, or maybe you were up there in Stanton like Coach Hatcher from R.E. Lee, thank you to the Walmart in Altavista on Clarion Road. Save money, live better. Walmart. That wraps it up for us, folks. The Altavista Colonels, your 2014 1A boys basketball state champions. It's a back-to-back state championship tour for the Altavista Colonels. 3 in a row if you count football, and you heard every single second of Colonels action for 52 years. You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.